Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. How are you and you and you? How's everybody doing? It's great to have you with us on our interactive international entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we started months and months and months ago. And it's been fantastic. We've done well over 230, 240 episodes every single day live from the broadcast center, known as the home studio. And it's cool to have you with us. Thanks to everybody joining us this evening from all around the world. We do have an international audience all across the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. It's really, really fantastic. This is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series patterned after some of the old school traditional ones you remember, like maybe Dick Clark and Dick Cavett and David Susskind and Steve Allen and Johnny Carson and Merv Griffin and maybe Mike Douglas, maybe a little Regis and Kelly type thing, but with the modern vibe and cool sensibilities of today. Sort of combining those two worlds of the old school way a talk show is done with variety and guests and all kinds of different topics and really touching upon all aspects of life with entertainment and deep conversation, all kinds of cool things. At the same time, sweeping in some of the modern vibe and sensibilities of today. The show just continues to grow by leaps and bounds. And so many of you continue to tell us how much you enjoy the show, you love the show, you look forward to it every single day, because we do it at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific live every single day. And sometimes we do two shows if we have the evening show, and then we have maybe an artist or a guest who's overseas and their time period, their time zone is a little bit later. We'll do it earlier. So this past weekend, we had two shows. This Saturday, we've got two shows coming up. But it's really great to have you with us on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. I toast all of you. We're getting a little fancy with the glass that our dear friend Kathleen Walker, I know I call her Kathy, just like my cousin, Kathleen Walker in Queens, New York. The Queen of Queens sent this along. Don't know if you can see it. It's got the New York Mets logo there, the official New York Mets wine gobbler. And this was a gift for the birthday in September. Big, longtime New York Mets fan, of course. And Kathleen, I want to call her Kathy. Kathleen works with the New York Mets. And so it's really a great gift. So we are toasting you in style this evening. And we say hello to everybody, you, and you all around the world. We thank you very much for joining us. And how's everybody doing? Let's check in with our international audience known as the Lovities. Why are they called the Lovities? Well, if you're just joining us for the first time, good to have you with us. I'm your host, Jim Masters. I do this work professionally as a television and radio personality, presenter, host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist for a long time in television and radio and multimedia. And I was saying the show is all about fun and inspiration and positive vibes, and we're always learning something and having a good time. And at the same time, I was saying it's about light, love, and levity, something we could all use about now, right? And I said it a little too fast, like a New Yorker, real fast, and said levity. And then everybody fell in love with the word levity. And from that day forward, it became Lovities. All the viewers are Lovities. They call me Mr. Levity. They call this whole experience Levity Hall, even though it still is the Jim Masters Show Live. It's Levity Hall to everybody. And we welcome all of you. And we've got an amazing guest. If you want to laugh, I was telling you when we were doing our pre-promotion, you want to be in a good mood? And boy, we could really use a good mood. We've got the guy for you, Josh Hyman. He's a brilliant comedian. He's a great actor. He's been on television shows. He's been in commercials. He's been on many stages. And he does a lot of different productions of his own as well, like Just Joshing and so much more. We'll talk about him. He is live and direct in New York. He is a fan of our show as well, and also of our mutual dear friend, June, who's watching. Good to see you, June. And we welcome everybody. So let's check in with some of our Lovities around the world and see how everybody's doing, since this is really an interactive show that we do here. So we like to check in and acknowledge the faithful who watch the show all the time, and some new folks who are checking us out. We welcome everybody watching on our YouTube channel. I encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's extraordinary how many people have in just the last couple of months. It's been amazing. Thank you for that. That helps us continue to grow and offer more content for you. That's bottom line how it works. And we are saying hello to everybody who's watching right now on our Facebook page as well. So we're doing both tonight, YouTube and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Double levity for you guys. Mary Bishop in Pine Island, Florida says, hello, Jim and Lovities. Looking forward to some great conversation with laughter with Josh and Jim. Actually, we were having a lot of laughs before. We're both originally New Yorkers, so you put New Yorkers together and they can definitely talk and they get, the quick-witted lines going. And he almost fell backwards in his chair and knocked his set down. And it's perfect. I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way. Boy, if I did that, there would be a lot of stuff busted. I'll stay put. If Josh decides to do a backflip, he'll do it live so we can go viral. I asked him, can you do a backflip, take his set down so we can go viral? He said, let's see, maybe I'll surprise you, Jim. So Mary, good to see you in Florida. Kathy Short is here. Good evening, Jim and our lovely family. It's nice to be here. Hey, June. Yay, Josh. June, good to see you as well. Sherry is here. Hello, Jim and Lovities. It's wonderful to see you, and it's wonderful to see you too, Sherry. Thanks for tuning in on the Jim Masters Show Live. Sharon DeMaria watching from Connecticut. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday and evening, everyone. Nice to see you, Sharon. Merlin is here. Hi, Jim and Lovities. Nice to see all of you. She's watching in Ontario, Canada. And Wozniak is here. Hello, Jim and Lovities. Hope today has been a great day for everybody. Yes, it has been a really, really busy day. I was on the radio all day today, so a really busy day. Hope you guys had a busy day too. And we're doing everything pretty much out of the house, which a lot of people are doing these days. Karen Campbell Green in Nova Scotia. Hey, Ann Wozniak. I like how you guys greet each other as well. Juanita in South Africa checking in. Hello, Jim and the lovely Lovities. Good to see you, Juanita. Bernadette is here. Hello, Jim and fellow Lovities. Hi, any newcomers, new Lovities. Kathleen Walker. Hi, Jim. Hope you had a good day. Hi, everyone. Kathleen Walker. Again, thank you once again for that New York Mets wine gobbler. Now you can see the logo there. I'm toasting them, but I hope the new ownership will make things a little bit better for the Mets. We will see in the spring, hopefully, if they get to play. Suzette is here from Portugal once again. I know it's late there in Portugal, but so happy that you're joining us again. We really appreciate it, Suzette. It's nice to see you. Julia is here. Julia, it's nice to see you as well. Hello to you. And of course, June is in New York City. Absolutely. Karen says, love your hat and vest, Jim. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Suzette says, hello, Jim and everybody. Love it. Cool. Nice to see everybody and toasting and hi all and toasting. And Christine Clifton in North Carolina. Greetings, Jim, Josh, and all. Welcome, comedian Josh, to the show. Tonight, Levity Hall just may turn into Levity Hall. I think it's going to. What's in the glass tonight? I'll get back to you later on that. Lovity from Karen. Suzette in Portugal says, hello, Josh. I warned Josh, well, not warned him. I told him to expect the Lovity wave coming his way. And he said, you know what? I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Leslie Cummings. Hi, Jim and fellow Lovities. Good to see you, Leslie. Karen says, Jim, I think you get better looking every day, buddy. Really. Have you refilled the prescription on your glasses? Thanks, Karen. Day mate, I don't think I need to do a show. I think we'll just end with that. That sounds pretty good. How do I print that out and put it under my pillow? Is there a way to do that? Hiya, June, our fabulous June. Boy, is this torture. We don't get a chance to see each other, June, and go to a good diner and have some pastrami and corned beef and some pea soup at like 2 a.m. in the city, like we like to do after a show together. Merlin in Ontario, welcome, Josh, to Lovity Hall. You're now a Lovity. Wow, that didn't take long. I told him he was going to be a Lovity. He's all excited about it. And Wozniak, hi, Josh. Happy to see you this wonderful evening. And in Southern California, hello, everyone. Great to see all of you as well. Well, with that, why don't I welcome our terrific friend, Josh Hyman, to the show. He's brilliantly funny. He's very witty. He's quick-witted. He's a great actor as well. And I want to show you one of the most incredibly serious roles he's ever played in his life. This is going to move you when you see this picture, and it might even bring a tear to your ear, or maybe not your ear. Or maybe if it was bringing it to your ear, you might just see a doctor quickly, but to your eye. That was when he was being serious. He's a brilliant actor and comedian, and again, in television, film, you name it, commercials, and some of the shows you might even recognize, of course. Cash Cab, yes. Startup and Mysteries at the Museum, Blue Bloods on CBS. He was on that as well. He's been in theater, film, The Interview, Let's Shoot Dirty, Jesus H. Heist, AMC Date Night, American movie classics, Happily Ever Alley, and on and on and on. We'll talk about all that. But first, let's welcome him live and direct from New York City. There he is in mid-sentence, and here he is live. Good to have you with us, Josh.
Where are you getting all this media?
Oh, yeah. This is a professional, high-class operation here.
It feels so good to be trolled like this. I love it. Nobody pays that much attention. I love it. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me on the show. This is amazing. All the lovities. I literally feel the lovity. I'm feeling the lovity. I really feel like I'm involved already. Thank you, everybody.
You are involved. Look at it, Karen in Nova Scotia. Welcome to Lovity Hall, Josh, and congrats on being our newest Lovity and in Southern California. Hello, everyone. Great to see all of you. And Ann Wozniak. Hey, hi, Josh. Happy to see you this wonderful evening.
Thanks, Ann.
Ontario's in the house. Canada. Welcome, Josh, to Lovity Hall. You are now a Lovity. Like I said, you can get an Oscar, you can get a Peabody, you can get an Emmy, you can get a Tony, you can get a Grammy, you can get a Telly.
Please.
But when you get a Lovity from the Jim Masters Show live, aren't your feet tingling?
I'll be honest, it actually is super cool. And the fandom here and everybody's so excited. Although right now, June, I love you, but Mary Bishop's my favorite Lovity because she followed me on Twitter before we even started doing this. So she just has blind faith that I'm funny or not a creep. So thank you, Mary.
And you said I was trolling?
All of a sudden it popped up. I was like, can I curse? I'm sorry. Who the hell is Mary Bishop? And then I was like, all right, she's a Lovity. She's my girl. So thanks, Mary. Love you.
How you know Mary isn't the bishop?
I don't know. I'll take it.
Yeah, she's amazing. She is originally from the north, and she lives in Pine Island, Florida, and she's one of our faithful viewers. We love her. Bernadette says, welcome, Josh, to Lovely Hall. Lady Bain, Cassandra, she's a brilliant R&B singer, really popular singer and performer, and she used to be a Detroit police officer as well and retired, and she's a brilliant performer. She was a guest on our show. She says, hello, Josh.
Hi, Cassandra.
Juanita in South Africa says, welcome to the show, Josh. She's here. She says hello. Patricia Butler's here. Hey, Jim, and hey.
I know Patricia Butler. Yeah.
And just how do you know her? I want the details.
She's an old family friend. Hi, Patricia. Thanks for following. All right. New fan for you. Old fan for me. What's up, Patty? Love you.
She's now a Lovity.
She's a Lovity.
Tell her how it feels to be a Lovity.
It feels... honestly, it sounds saying it's probably how you sound when you're trying to tell someone you love them, but when you're tally wasted, you just stumble into things. You're like, I
love levity.
I love it you. I love it you, and we're in lovity. We've all been there where we're like, oh, it's too far. It's too much to drink.
There's the welcome from Mary Bishop again. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I love it. Love the Facebook picture earlier. That's terrific.
Right. So you want me to tell that story about the one where I look like a Murray the Elf? I don't know where you found it. That was a good find, dude.
This really one here?
Find. Which one? Go back.
Oh, I thought this is when you were doing that speech in Washington.
Yes, that's when right after he came off.
And when you said, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Right. I'm not going to take it. Everybody go back to the clown show, but they went the other way to the Capitol. So
this is a cool shot.
Yeah. That was when it was a stage production and I was playing a character called Murray the Elf. And I was playing an elf who was in love with Mrs. Claus. So Santa Claus would go off and do his thing. And Murray was constantly trying to seduce Mrs. Claus. It was one of the most fun roles I've ever played in my life. I'm jumping around the stage. That's my wife's shirt.
Is it really?
My wife's shirt. And those are green and white, what do you call those? Like candy striper
or leggings or something?
Leggings. Or something. Dude, I made that belt. The belt is made out of basically I don't even know what that is now. Golden, dude. I was nuts. I would put anything on, dude. I'm like one of those guys.
Hey, I think it's awesome. It's fantastic. It's cool. And what was the response to that show?
It was a small one of those kind of downtown theater when you're starting off, and and it was part of like vignettes of other plays. So it was like just a small kind of show within a bigger show. But it
Right.
was one of the more popular ones. I mean, I basically got to like profess my love to Mrs. Claus. It was so funny. And I'm like short in stature, you know, I'm kind of like a Danny DeVito meets like Ron Jeremy meets Founding Fathers with my hair like this. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
like kind of like short, stocky guy. And she was like playing this tall woman, tall version of Mrs. Claus. So it was good. We got a good response to it, you know?
That's awesome. How'd you get started? What was the early inspiration for you, Josh, growing up, to get into not only acting, but also, the comedic side of things as well? Do you have folks in the family who have always been funny? I mean, where do some of those influences derive from initially for you, Josh?
It's interesting. Yeah, I kind of consider myself a blue collar actor. It's a kind of phrase out there. I didn't go to Juilliard. I didn't go to some big time acting school. I kind of, you know, realized that I wanted to do this, and then I kind of did all the work afterwards. I was out of college already. I started pulling from my experience and my degree. I'm as a communication major. So I, as a kid though, was I didn't, I was kind of quiet, funny, cute kid, whatever. And then one day I got into like a play at a camp, and they had this thing where they were like, you can do whatever, like almost like a talent show. And me and a buddy of mine, we like wrote this sketch. We were like 9, 10 years old, and we get up there and we put this 5-minute sketch together. I don't even know what we were talking about. We had like Long Island accents. We were like channeling the honeymooners. I'm doing, what was his name? I'm doing
The Ralph Cramden?
Ralph Cramden type
Yeah.
character.
Jackie
And
Gleason. Yeah.
yeah, Jackie Gleason. And I'm like, and all of a sudden the whole place is hysterical. They're going nuts. And that feeling in that moment of like, wow, you could really just change a room and bring people into joy and wow, it just opened my whole mind of like what's possible like that. So then I kind of got away from it a little bit later on. And then after college, I moved to the city, and I just was like, you know what? I always wanted to do this. I'm gonna do it. I started finding acting troops and improv shows. I started doing stand-up comedy at the Comic Strip Live on the Upper East Side. And next thing you know, like it's kind of like a sailboat. Once the wind, the sail catches the wind, boom, you're off. You're just flying. And that's how it's been ever since, just trying to keep learning and growing. And I say you got it. The trick is to like just say yes to everything.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
You want to,
Yes.
can you come here and wear a bra on your head and walk around in this tutu? Yes, I'll do that. Sure. And that's kind of where the blue collar actor comes from. You just got to work your way around, make your own contacts. And, like you said before, I appreciate your, reading off some of my credits. I've had some bigger things and I've had some smaller things, and my own stuff I put out there, which I'm always proud of. And yeah, I did have one cousin who was kind of like a funny guy, and he got like
Yeah.
all this attention in the family too.
Hmm.
And I was like, I want to be that guy. I want to be,
Hmm.
I want to be that guy who can really make everyone laugh. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I am. I don't know if I am. Am I?
You
I don't
are.
know. I
Well,
don't know.
what would you say early on would be one of your bigger breaks where the doors open, where people started noticing? You mentioned people noticed you in school and coming up that, hey, this guy's
Right.
actually, he's funny and he's witty.
Camp
But
school.
as far as where could be a career trajectory situation, where was that door opening situation that happened for you, that
I,
opportunity?
I guess you could say if it was, I don't know, it wasn't, I guess the first of it was, like I said, I got away from it a little bit. I went
Yeah.
to college. I thought I wanted to be a writer and a journalist and that kind of stuff. And then I graduated and I was working at a PR job in the city, and I'm commuting, and I'm just want to shoot myself. I'm bored. All my friends are doing other things in other parts of the country. I'm like,
Were you
and
in a
then I meet this
cubicle and everything too?
cubicle and nice
Yeah.
people. I had made great friends there and everything, but like,
But it was the cubicle that was
kind of
the end
that
game.
that truck of like, yeah, as soon as you're done with work, you're right on the bus, and then you get home, and then you eat dinner, and then maybe you sleep, and then you go on the bus, and like you're nuts. So I meet this girl, and she's in theater, and like in where I grew up in Rockland County. And she's like, "Hey, you're so like much personality. You're so funny. Why don't you come and be in this play?" So I said, "Oh, okay." This like little play at a temple. at a synagogue on the street near where I lived, right? And they were like, "You're so funny. Be in the play. Here's no lines for you. You just stand there
Nothing
and just look around." And I was like, "I'm in." And I jumped in, and from that point on, it got me like super in. I did everything in Rockland, community theater, all these things. And then when I moved to the city and I started doing stand-up, and like I said, getting up on that stage and telling your own jokes and making people laugh, I was like, I can absolutely do this, and I will find a way to do it. And then, you keep just hustling, man. You got to hustle, and you got to be out and talk to people. You got to kiss a lot of ass. It's a lot of fucking ass.
A lot of work.
You gotta write. You gotta be, like I said, say yes. You gotta be out. You gotta help other shows, even if you're not in a show. Like when you do that kind of theater, just be involved. And then one thing leads to another. I started doing commercials, and I started doing, obviously always doing stand up. And then, I got some representation, and then I started booking things. I mean, the commercials for me were like something I always wanted to do, as much as I wanted to perform and be on stage and be a stand-up comedian. I always was like, I want to be a commercial actor. So I'm glad to say that I really hustled and did that, and have been in some big spots over the time.
And we have proof of that. As Walter Wolf used to say on Channel 2, let's go to the videotape.
Hi, I'm Robert De Niro, but you know that already. I'm here to tell you about something that you don't know. The new Kia e-Niro. It's very roomy. Okay, what happened? Why was he in there? I don't know. You don't know. So I'm supposed to know? Kia.
Dude, you got anything to eat?
What do you guys want?
I want the Cheetos, baby!
I'm wanting to have the Cheetos, baby.
I got the Cheetos, baby! It's the last one they had.
The next item is
Performance.
Research and development.
Value.
Performance.
Hello?
It's not muted.
Value.
Why not both? Performance and value.
There's no debate. Intel enables both performance and value.
Wow, you are good. You're good.
I tell you, huh?
You're good. Wow, dude. Those are some of my favorite. The De Niro one
Those
is
are national spots. Kia, Cheetos, Intel. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, De Niro was actually European. So that was airing all over Europe.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Because Kia in Europe is a brand here, like what's our big I don't know, Honda, something like that, popular car. Kia is really popular out there. So that was a sponsor for, I guess, their soccer, all the professional soccer out there. So that was running like crazy. He was awesome. Everybody was making it seem like you couldn't even look at him in the face. And I'm very much of the like the blue collar thing, where I'm like, I'm not gonna be an asshole, but I'm not gonna not talk to the guy. That's
Robert De Niro. It's right
Robert
there.
De Niro. I'm not gonna, it's just, you got to talk to them like regular people. If you try to be an idiot, they're gonna say, get away from me, right? So,
right.
I'm in the trunk. It's hot as hell. There's lights all over the place in there, and I'm just kind of joking around with him, and I'm trying to make him laugh, and he's laughing. He's like, you all right in there, Josh? And I was like, I got plenty of room, Robert. If you want to come in, I'll move over. We could cuddle. We could go camping, and he just was laughing. So,
you didn't say Bob?
I think I may have called him Bob. I was kind of like Bob, Mr. D, I just was trying to be cool about it. The funniest moment of that, and I have a picture of it. I'll try to find it on my phone, but I was in the trunk in the car, and there's like a window like above my head, and I'm looking out through the window, and I see his face in the window, and the door is closed, and I say to myself out loud, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm working with Robert De Niro. I can't believe I'm working with, and the next take they go cut, and the door opens, and the sound guy comes over, and he goes, I think it's great that you're working with Robert De Niro. He's like, but you got to shut up. I'm catching all of it on the mic every time you say that on the mic. I was like, oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
No, that's, I know it's hard. Sometimes it's hard, isn't it? Like when you're really in awe of somebody and you're working with them or you're talking to them in a professional role,
Right.
and then there they are, but yet you really, really you're pinching yourself that you're with that person.
Right.
It's hard. You got to sort of find that fine line of
It's surreal. It's like you watch this
you have
person
to
all the time.
make sure that the drool has to be wiped every
Right.
once in a while, a little bit,
You got to
because
remind yourself to just
that
talk normal, like
right.
be normal. Don't say anything like, for here, a better example is actually I did a spot with Eli Manning, and he's the quarterback of the New York Giants, and they had just won the Super Bowl a bunch of times. And there's all these people around on the set. We were there like 3 feet away from each other for 6 hours. So the whole time I'm looking straight at him. We're looking at each other the whole time.
And he's like 10 feet tall.
And
yeah.
he's 10 feet tall, and I'm very much not 10 feet tall. I am the opposite of 10 feet tall. So I'm just sitting there going, like, just talk to him about anything you can think of that has nothing to do with football.
Yeah, because he hears that all day long, right?
That's all he hears. So I was like, your daughter was born. What was it growing up like in New Orleans? And then I'm relating it. I was just trying to have like conversations with him, and it worked, worked. I wasn't bothering him, and it was cool,
And then he said, I didn't grow up in New Orleans. I grew up in Mississippi.
He did grow up in New Orleans. His dad was the quarterback. But but then he, here it goes. Did it move? It's moving. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, backdrop coming down.
He's got a moving set there. Yeah.
Moving set. Oh,
he may do a backflip. He's also an acrobatic.
Yes.
As soon as COVID's over, he will be with Cirque du Soleil.
Yes, in the chubby guy section. It's the chubby guy out of the cannon, and he screams his head off as he lands.
It looks like you're going to do some magic or something, just the way the setup is. It's like Shazam.
So, whatever, like, doing those things. Cheetos Baby, that's my actual son. I found the biggest Cheetos bag that I could find, and I was cutting it out, and I made like sleeves and like legs, and I put him in at my 6 month. My wife was like, what do you want to do with the kid? I'm like, no. It's great. It's going to be great. So we just put the baby in the bag. And the Intel thing. Yeah, there's a lot, it's so fun. You've done it. It's so fun to be on set
and make people laugh and smile. And it's and are you missing that? Are you missing the not having the people right there in front of you and the people like laughing and having there's the big Chiller Theater hand again. Chiller.
Oh, sorry.
No,
well,
at least you had your nails done today, huh?
How you guys think? I look good.
Just for us. Thank you.
Well, I'm not wearing pants.
You are a lovity.
I'm not wearing pants. So the nails are done. The shirt is on.
Pants.
No pants. Just nudity down here. So that's for everybody, the lovities, to make up what it looks like. Is this that kind of show, or is that too dirty?
We do reach down under.
Hey, that was a good one.
Did I touch?
What did you ask me? Yes, do I miss it?
Comedy and acting. Is there one that pulls you more? The comedian, the actor, or do you love the comedic parts of acting? Would you like to be in a situation comedy? That type of thing?
Yes, my ultimate goal would be like the sitcom actor, the best friend, or his own show. That on top of the commercials, like I said, like I always want to be a comic, and then when I got into it, I was like, I really the commercial world, and then you do more, and you're like, I'm in this for the sitcom role. So I've done a couple of those. How I got involved and met you through June. June and I were in another kind of web sitcom pilot idea. So like that was, those kinds of things.
Is that the Jerry Duncan?
Jerry Duncan
show. Yeah, because we had Bart and
you had Bart on, right?
They were several of them were on the show. We did a whole thing with them. Yeah. So your role in that is
Jerry Duncan. I played Jerry.
So you are Jerry,
which it's such an honor to be cast in as the lead there. And
tell us about who Jerry Duncan is. How do you describe Jerry Duncan?
So Jerry Duncan is think of him like, he what do they call him? The loudmouth from Wasilla, right? So he's basically like a New York guy. His parents somehow took him out and ended up with him in Alaska. Both of them are dead, and he's got like issues with them, but he also kind of found his way to like the podcast world, and something happens and he starts to get these huge political figures on his show, and he's interviewing them, and he's kind of becoming like almost like a Howard Stern, type guy, disc jockey, and he's got this huge popularity. But in reality, at home, he's just a lonely guy in Alaska, and he talks to his dead mother all the time, who June plays. And it's really a great premise for a show. So the brilliance of it is that the other actors that are involved, are, at least the way we did it, are super talented, experienced, award-winning Broadway, Tony Award-winning actors, doing impersonations of Trump and Biden and Sanders and all these different Elizabeth Warren. She's great too. So they're doing these impersonations. So it's a really great mix of talent and what everybody's doing. But the premise is great. It's like, who is this guy? Why is he? How did the hell did this guy become super popular in the political podcast world? And he's also can't even get a date, because he's such a loser. So it's a really interesting role to play, and I'm glad to do it. Jerry Duncan Show. It's on YouTube. You can check it now.
Right. Exactly. Very, very cool. And of course, much success with that as well. I want to show, I think this is where you are performing. It's a quick clip. You are at Caroline's performing. Did you want to intro this at all, this little clip?
Is this just my stand-up, regular stand-up?
Yes. Yeah.
There's it's pretty much what I use is like, I put out there. I've always done a lot of my half of my family. Is this the Moroccan clip? Half of my family is like from Morocco.
Are they really?
I do a lot of, my mother is from there. So for a long time I was doing material.
Did you not pay your light bill? Because you just went a little dark.
Did I just go dark here for a second? What is this? I'm like, there we go. Yeah. There we go.
So you're used to the spotlight and some guy operating the spotlight. Now you have to press enter or whatever on your laptop to get the light.
I'm like Tom Cruise on the set. What's got the light on?
Has society gone backwards? There used to be studio lighting and all these people. Even there used to be a grip.
Now it's just the cell phone light.
That's all it is.
Lighting, right?
Actually, that looks better with it.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'll try to set it up. So anyway,
for the first 10 minutes, we've only seen a blue wall, but aside from that,
can you see me now?
No, we see you. No, actually, that light looks good.
Do you want me to stand up?
Well, you are a stand-up comedian. No, you're fine. You look good. You're fine. You're fine. Good evening, Jim, Josh, and Loverty. Sorry I'm late again, but I'm happy to be here for Maureen. She checked. Josh has been waiting for you, Maureen. He's been waiting for you.
What is it? No, is that Austrian, German?
Merlin said you pronounced her name correctly.
Merlin, yeah.
Merlin, yeah.
That's actually. Can I be at Merlin? Can I tell you? So the show that I was doing in New York City for a long time called Drunk Shakespeare, which is probably like the biggest, most popular thing. We were a New York Times Critics Pick show, 6 years running. I was original cast, and very much my role in the show, it's very interactive. So like the audience walks in and we're immediately interacting with the crowd. And the skill that I developed, I probably always had, but it got like really, sharp during the show was immediately like getting to know people like I was their best friend within seconds, right? And a way to do that, I realized, was language, right? So understanding accents and coming really close to guessing where people were from, and then to Merlin's point, like being able to pronounce people's names, and hearing it and then reciting it back to them. And I got so good at it that I used to go around and go, is there a job that I can get paid actual money to do this? And it turns out there's not. So that was the highlight of my career.
That was the highlight. And then you went back to the job at A&P, or?
Yeah, right. I mean, OnlyFans.
That's
it.
Maureen says that you did a nice job on the German there, her last name.
Was it right too?
Yeah, nicely done. It's German.
It is German. All right.
Karen in Nova Scotia. Have you ever done shows in Canada?
I haven't. No, I came close. I did shows up in Seattle, Portland, up there. No, not Canada. But I have a lot of family in Montreal. Where do you live in Canada?
She's in Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Yeah. She also asks, who are some of your comedic influences? Personally, she loved Robin Williams. Did you like some of the old school people too, like the Rodney Dangerfields and all of
Funny you
them?
say that. It's so funny you say
Yeah.
that because I'm probably
I miss him. Yeah.
you're probably a little, we're about the same age, if not, I'm probably a little older, but we're really like right at the cutoff where people even know who he is.
Yeah. 27, 28.
Yeah,
Yeah.
14. I'm 17,
Yeah.
19 and a half.
Yeah.
And, but people, so like, just as an example, even in Drunk Shakespeare, I used to make a Rodney Dangerfield joke and half the audience, it would die. I had to stop doing it because half the audience were young millennial types and they
Who
had no
didn't
idea.
understand anything beyond
Yeah.
the latest iPhone 200.
Right. It blew my mind. But yes, Robin Williams is somebody that that energy wise, his ability, his quickness and be able to constantly make punchlines is just brilliant.
Now, Sherry wants you to
Obviously.
say her last name.
Seanline. Yeah.
She'll check in and she'll probably say yeah or nay. That's what I would say. Actually, she sent a video and she pronounced it. I would say probably a lot of people will look at it and they'd probably say Showen line. They probably do the Showen first.
But if it's German, it's probably only one of those letters, right? So Seanline.
Rodney. Now this might be a name that might be, it's way cusp, but a legend. Ernie Kovacs. Do you remember Ernie Kovacs?
Don't remember.
Go on Tubi and type that name in and you'll see some extraordinary. He was wacky as wacky. He was absolutely amazing. George Carlin.
Carlin, you know, it's
Phyllis
funny.
Diller.
Yeah, I mean, you pull things from who you look at and watch and you say, oh, I want to be able to do that little bit. So like where Robin Williams had that energy and that quickness, just trust what you're doing and just keep going. You remember like Bob Nelson? He was a Long Island guy. Remember him? He used to do like Epimin. You know, he would do these characters.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Nelson. And then obviously Carlin and his ability to break down every little aspect of a topic, right? And then you have guys like Rodney too. Rodney also, do you know when Rodney used to do like a Johnny Carson set? He would do the set for 5 minutes, which is probably 50 jokes. 35 jokes.
Yes.
And then he would sit on the couch
and do more.
Another 100
it was unreal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so to that point in growing up in like
boom. Like Phyllis Diller was that way. Boom. You really don't have a lot of that anymore as much.
No, it's all kind of weird, kind of like
Sebastian Maniscalco.
He's different though.
Because he tells these stories of that you could relate to. How do you describe your comedy? Like when you're doing stand-up, what for people that are going to now check you out after this, how do you describe your style?
I hate to try to put it in boxes all the time.
Yeah.
People then just like, like this.
That's what they expect. And you have to be just that, right?
I'll say this, in not being able to perform for a year or so now, it's almost a year, March.
Yeah, I know.
I've been able to reflect on it a little bit more. And what I realize about my own comedy, yes, Richard Pryor, Linda Odell, of course. But like what I realized was that my whole set was kind of the joke. So if you like look at me and you see me come out on stage, you're like, all right, here's this little guy. He's kind of cutesy. And I get up and do like a quick joke or two about being short and round, maybe, or something.
Like a George Costanza type of.
Exactly. But then by the end of the set, I'm talking about the energy is off the top. I'm like, what are you even talking about? And I'm ridiculous and I'm cursing and dirty. And that's the joke. The joke is the set. The joke is that you think I'm this thing. And then by the end of it, I'm like, and all of you can go fart yourself. See you later. I'm out, And then that's where I get the biggest response. When I try to be too many other things of what people expected me to be, I never found the success that I wanted. But as soon as I let loose and I said, I'm just going to do a little bit of everything. Characters and voices and breaking things down. And obviously kids stuff. I can't help it. It's just so easy to talk about.
And then, of course, there's always George Burns.
But he was also more of like he was a great television comic. You stand there and you just tell your joke, and then you tell your joke, and then you tell your joke, right?
It's crazy.
Crazy. So I mean, all of those guys. You know who I like too? You remember Mitch Hedberg? He's a
Oh,
little
yeah.
later. He came out
Sure.
later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Or was it
and then
Dane Cook?
Dane Cook was, Dane Cook to me is the precursor to Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yes.
Very expressive
Yes.
stories. Really good. You loved him or you hate him. People
Right.
like here. You want an
Yeah.
example? Not that I'm some expert or anything, but Sebastian Maniscalco to me, he doesn't do as well on the late night talk shows as he does in a long 45-minute hour special, because you have to get into him and into his thing. So those late night talk shows are really all about like
Boom, boom,
boom,
boom.
boom, boom.
Yeah,
You tell
grab you
one
quick.
story and it has 15 punchlines and you're out. But like Sebastian Maniscalco's best thing is like, and then he's like, and then they don't even have the bread.
Yeah.
There's the bread in the thing with the bread. And it's like hysterical because you're like so in it with him at that point that you're on the floor, right? So I did, not to talk so much, but screw it. I did a one-man show.
And we're live. This was
We're live.
We're going live in 5. This was just a dress rehearsal. You passed the test, Josh. Oh, there we go.
There it is. Stop.
There it is.
Stop.
There it is. There it is.
All right.
I told you. Did I not tell you that this was probably going to happen? Now, I hope that section, June, everybody, let's make what we just saw viral. Make this video viral. The set fell down.
I'm so upset with myself.
He's very passionate and very expressive. He's very expressive.
So I did this one-man show.
News, the set's not real.
There's all kinds of nudity
There's
behind
stuff
here.
back
There's
there,
women, men. There's a whole sex show going on behind here.
Oh my God.
Careful, Josh. Hi, George. I have a friend from high school who still calls me George. She goes, "Oh, Georgie. Oh, John Ritter. You're right. John Ritter was there.
They're really going back. Charlie Chaplin, the Marx Brothers.
Well,
What
those
about
guys,
like
yeah.
the Groucho and Abbott Costello? Growing
I
up,
liked Abbott Costello. Well, who's on first is like the first thing you memorize.
and you probably love Gleason too.
I loved. It's so weird because, like I said, with that play that I put on, I didn't really know who he was. He was just on TV in the 80s.
The
I was watching him.
Honeymooners,
And
reruns.
the way he was like, Norton,
Legend.
nothing, and
Bang Zoom.
if you're gonna mimic something, think about it. As a young kid, you get funny. You're like, that's what I'm gonna mimic. Because if you think about comedy as a young kid and you're watching it, the first thing you do is just tell other people's jokes. You're doing their act, and so you get the timing and you get the ability to know when to drop that line. So for me, it was like Gleason. What? Jackie Mason? Like Jackie
Mason, yes,
Jackie Mason.
another.
I'm kind of dating myself, but like with these younger comics, like okay, I respect all of them, but the guys that really got me going.
Here, John Ways is watching. He is a brilliant. He's a great guest friend of our show. Terrific hypnotist and illusionist.
Oh.
And was recently introduced to Sebastian. Loved his material, digging your insight about yourself and others, Josh.
Cool. Thanks, John. Thank you. Yeah. I met who did I meet on the road? What was his name? Richard Wright. What's his name? The guy who was really dry. Wright.
Oh yes.
Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright.
Yes, sort of very like
Right.
yeah.
I met him on the road. We were both at the same theater complex. He was doing the 3,000 seater and I was doing the 500 seater, and I got to meet him. And those, to me, like meeting those old guys like that if you remember the HBO specials or VH1 when it first came out, and Rosie O'Donnell used to have that show and she would bring on all these comics, and that was your there was no Netflix, there was nothing. There was
nothing.
It was watching
HBO special or what have you. What about Larry David, who does that brilliant Bernie Sanders?
Do you
like
Larry
impressions?
I do like impressions. Larry David to me is Costanza. So I always loved Costanza and Seinfeld. When Curb Your Enthusiasm and all that came out, I just missed the initial boat of it. So I don't disrespect it. I just never really caught on. I've seen things.
Right.
But to me, Costanza spoke to me because that character, that type, that outrage, everything's an outrage. Like that's just who I am.
Who we lost last year, who was brilliant, was Jerry Stiller.
Yeah. Stiller too.
Yeah.
I mean, and he, my dad passed away a couple of years ago, which was really rough on me, but him and I used to be able to watch Seinfeld, and you know, you could just, that was our way of connecting. So Stiller coming out and like, you Festivus for the rest of us. And my dad and I would be just like on the floor. So like, you know, to us, that was like the greatest show. That was how we connected.
A couple of people saying your audio is a little low.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I mean, on this end, you sound good here, but Karen.
Kathleen.
Yeah. Clean up on aisle 9. Clean up on there's a spill. You know, also too, and this is cool because I think it's either Tubi. Well, there's this great channel called Tubi, Tubi, and it's all these TV shows and all these movies and documentaries, and it's all free. And we get it.
Hi to the little guy. He has to go to bed. Say good night. Say good night.
Who do we see here?
This is Benjamin. Say hi. Oh, look.
Hi, Benjamin. You're on TV.
Jim. Say hi, Jim. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Benjamin.
Okay, have a good night. Give me a kiss. Mwah. Go. I'll see you later.
That's love. That's love.
Oh my God, I can't even deal with it.
Who else do you have? That's our first surprise guest star. Who else is behind that curtain?
Is Avery here too?
Curtain number 1, curtain number 2, or curtain number 3?
Rodney Dangerfield's ghost is back there. So
I love Benjamin. Say, Benjamin, you're so cute.
Benjamin is so cute.
Robin.
Thanks, Marilyn.
Robin Walter says, hi, Benjamin.
Hi, Robin. I know Robin Walter too. Hi, Robin.
What a handsome young man.
My little guy.
They love children. They love pets. And they love food. If you start talking about food, you've won these people over. The love it.
Talk about food. Let me tell one. He's so much. Thank you all of you for saying that. I love being a dad, and I have a daughter who's a little older. I don't know where she is right now, but my son, when I leave and he comes and runs to the door and he's like, "Dad's home." There is no amount of money in the world that is better or more fulfilling than that.
Sure.
That moment, I can't even stand it. So anyway, thank you, people. I'll tell one quick story about Dangerfield. So kind of to tie it all together is that there was a club, if you don't know, in Manhattan for a very long time called Dangerfields, right? So it would kind of set itself apart as that it was kind of a weird kind of like it lost some of its like glamour over the years, and the comics in New York weren't like actively trying to get in there as much as possible. Some of the other clubs were kind of eclipsing it a little bit. But to me, getting into Dangerfields was like the goal. Like to be able to get to perform where Rodney Dangerfield performed after having watching him in all those comics, Jon Stewart, Adam Sandler, Seinfeld, George Wallace, like all those guys come through. And then when I finally got to, perform there regularly, it was like performing at the, Madison Square Garden, being like, at Mecca, I would go into the green room and I would sit on the couch, and who knows if it was the same couch that they all used to sit around and do drugs and drink and get fucked up in. But like, to me, that was like the wood paneling on the wall. It was the coolest thing. So it recently closed, unfortunately, due to COVID and the pandemic. But that was like, to me, like such an amazing, like, full circle moment.
Oh, absolutely. Did you ever get a chance to meet him? Or was he gone already?
He was gone already by the time. But he was gone. Wasn't he gone like early 2000s? I was just kind of starting out around then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Richard Pryor, amazing. We had his daughter Rain is a friend, and Richard Pryor Jr. are friends, and they were both on, and he was amazing as well. Flip Wilson. I don't know if you remember Flip Wilson.
Yeah, a little bit. The thing with Pryor too was like, it was just this, it's kind of like Murphy like that, and now Chappelle, where Chappelle is like well known for what he does, but I feel like only in the last 5-10 years has he really been the whole like, I don't care what I'm saying, like you're gonna hear what I have to say. And that's what was great about Pryor, especially at the time. He just told it like it was. Same thing with Carlin. They broke your whole world open.
You could watch some of their videos, especially George Carlin, and what he was talking about, the idiosyncrasies and craziness of life. And some of the things that he said on television and in his videos and specials match what's some of the stuff that's going on today about how we treat each other and how we react, and just the different craziness of life. It's so true.
Don't you think like there's an element of all what we've experienced, and then I'm sure what our parents would say they experienced, that like it's kind of like there should be a course in school of like, okay, here you're gonna watch these 3 Carlin specials. Okay, you're gonna watch all the news coverage of Vietnam from when that was going on. Okay, you're gonna read the Magna Carta. All right, and then you're allowed to go out and have a cell phone. Okay, you need to like have all of this shit first. You know, like a Carlin special, just one of them, let alone 8 that he had, 10, would change your whole life, especially as a young person. And not to shit on the millennials. If you're on here, millennials, I'm sorry. I love you. I'm just saying that because you have to. But, you know, there's so much they just like, yeah, I saw it. Like I saw it. I watched it online. Like you didn't watch it if you didn't watch it 10 times and ingest it, you know, just skimming across it. It's like food. You want to turn it back to food? Just tasting a cake from a famous isn't enough. You got to eat the whole friggin'
thing. Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. Tim Conway was very funny too. Tim Conway was
Tim Conway with the on Carol Burnett. So they were the 27 Yankees.
He had his own special, the Tim Conway Comedy Hour, and they have it on YouTube and they have it on Tubi. And it's really, really hilarious. I want to show people you in action again. This is where you were at Caroline's, and you were mentioning, I think we left off the Moroccan family connection.
Right. Yeah.
So you're part Moroccan.
So my mother's
Jewish, a variety of things.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they're all from Morocco. So for a while, what I did was I kind of clasped onto that as being African American because Morocco's in Africa. So I kind of jumped on that train a little bit for a long time, maybe too long, you know, but it became like a staple of like who I was as a comic, you know, which is ironic because I didn't really grow up so much with that influence. We ate the food a little bit. You want a food thing? We had the Moroccan cigars and the meatballs and peas and the couscous and the hot spices all the time. And a little bit of cultural stuff, but we were really more like just Jewish, you know. We weren't like Arabic Moroccan. You know?
We were really more just like Jewish,
just like Americans eating and gassing and everything. So, but I
do like a good knish with mustard.
That's Ashkenazi. That's if you can go to Israel, you can't find that kind of food.
They don't have
and pastrami and corned beef in Israel, which is ironic too, because all the Jews that came to form Israel were from Eastern Europe, Poland, Germany. They all came to form. They were like, everybody come, leave the smoked meat. Just leave the meat. We're going to go to Israel. It's all couscous and falafel from now on, you know?
Have you been to Israel?
I've been to Israel. I haven't been to Morocco. My mom is born in there, Casablanca, but I haven't been to, there it goes again. I haven't been to Morocco, but I've been to Israel, and you know, Israel is just phenomenal. It's gorgeous, and you know, a lot of family there. And
Linda Odell in St. Augustine, Florida says Moroccan food is delicious.
So good. I mean, you could, but it's spicy. Like you gotta like ease yourself into it because, and I don't just mean hot. It's like spices. It's a lot of that Mediterranean spices.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, like I remember one family party, those cigars, they're basically like little egg rolls, but like with spicy meat in them. And I was like, these are awesome. And I'm just like 11 years old. And then next thing I know, I'm throwing up like all over the place in this party. So you got to like pace yourself with that. But yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Slowly but surely. We've got the Caroline's clip all set up here. Okay. Yeah. Let's take a look at that and, refill your glass if you need to. This is time to put the ice in the glasses, folks, as we continue with Josh Hyman. Now he's at Caroline's.
Come on, show some love. Start clapping up. You see him on the off-Broadway play, Drunk Shakespeare. Give it for Josh Hyman, everybody. Come on, Josh Hyman. Let's go, baby. All right. How you guys doing? Great. Awesome, guys. I just celebrated my 6-year wedding anniversary. Thank you. My wife is Cambodian. I haven't met her yet, but the website said she'll be here any day now. Excited, yeah. I really hated being single. I really hated being single because it was so hard to meet women. It was like impossible to meet women, except for like really tall women, Yeah, because like I'm 5'3". Like I walk over to them and they like never see me coming. Yeah, I was like a cold sore on your lip, I just pop up out of nowhere, Surprise, like 1 minute I'm nowhere to be seen, the next minute I'm sitting on your face and you're taking me with you to parties. The only thing that sucks about being short is shopping for clothing. Nothing fits. Everything is too big. Look at this jacket. This is a women's petites. Yeah, the only size of clothing that actually fits is called Boys Husky. Have you heard of Boys Husky? You remember 14, 18 extra large for the chubby? You know what I'm talking about, right? It was like the last size of clothing you could wear before your mother takes you to Lane Bryant. You know what I'm talking about? And I would wear Boys Husky on every time. I would wear it. It fits perfectly. But on every article of clothing, it's the same thing, right? It's cartoons, right? The Avengers, Scooby-Doo. I went to a party recently. This guy was like, wow, I really like that horse on your shirt. What is that? A Ralph Lauren polo? I was like, no, bro. It's My Little Pony. Yeah, you guys look good. How do I look? Yeah? I look like Hasidic Danny DeVito? People have a hard time guessing my nationality all the time. They would say Italian or Greek or anything. I'm actually a Moroccan Jew. My family's from Morocco, which my mom is, which means that she's Sephardic. But my father is from Romania, and he's Jewish, which means that he's Ashkenazi. So technically that makes me Ashkefardic. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot better than being a Sephardic Nazi, though, so you gotta lay it out. Yeah. My mom spoke all these languages growing up, though. Like she spoke like French and Hebrew and Arabic, but she never taught them to us. She just like spoke it around us, so we just got things in principle. Like she would pinch my cheek and she would go, shikbara, shikdurari, kapara, kapara. Which I always thought meant, my adorable little prince, you're so cute, you're so cute. It doesn't mean that. Turns out it actually means, I can't believe we didn't use birth control. That nights. Yeah. You were saying it before. Does anybody know? Anybody know what continent Morocco is on? Africa, right? You know what that makes me? African American. Yeah, what's up, my family? Right here. My girl. Yeah, I gotta tell you though, it's really rough growing up being African American. Especially in my neighborhood. Are you kidding me? All the Jewish kids would come up to me at the park. They were like, oh my God, is it true? Can you dunk? I was like, a vanilla wafer and a cup of coffee, maybe. I gotta get a running start, though. I tried to fit in being African American. I really did. I did. I would like wear my big old headphones on the bus to school. I'd be like, yeah. Nobody had any idea I was listening to James Taylor. You got a friend. My mom didn't get that though. She was like, I don't understand. We don't say that we are African American. We don't say this. We say we are Moroccan. We don't say that we are African American. We say we are Moroccan. I was like, Mom, if I say that I'm African American and then I write that down on my college applications, I'm getting into Harvard and I'm going to college for free. She's like, you better check that box, motherfucker. Accent, right? I am married. I want to say this. I love being married. Marriage is great, but the rules of marriage can be really confusing, and you got to pay attention because you never know when they're going to change. And here's what happened to me the other day. I was out with my wife, and we were food shopping, and she had like the list of the item, the food. I said, give me the list. I got it. I'm going to help out, right? So I took the list. I'm going around the store, taking items off the shelf. I put it in the cart. I'm killing it, right? She comes around the corner. She's like, what do you think you are doing? And I was like, what am I doing? She's like, you never take the items from the front of the shelf. They're never fresh in the front. You got to take it from the back. You got to take it from the back. And I was like, relax, you're embarrassing me, okay? But then it got confusing because later that night we were in bed and I was trying to have sex with her. And she was like, what do you think you are doing? And I was like, time out for a second. You said it's never fresh in the front. So I'm just taking it from the back. Trying to be a good husband. Guys, my name's Josh Hyman. Have a good night. everybody. Give it on for Josh Hyman. Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Now, have you performed a lot at Caroline's? When was that?
Wow. That was probably, what year is it? 2020. I mean, that was probably a couple years ago.
Who knows what year it is anymore, right?
Know. You know what? It was a good
supposedly
set.
there was New Year's Eve, but I don't remember.
Well,
2021 still feels like 2020.
I don't even know what day it is, let alone the year.
A lot of people.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I think it was probably a couple years ago. It was a good set. When you have a good set and you get good laughs along the way, you kind of hold on to it. But even that, I was talking, somebody here made a comment about like, thanks for breaking down like the comedy. And it's like even John said that, you know, like digging your insight, but like even that is something, just performing in that way is not something I do anymore. I'm much looser and I'm kind of just more animated and more conversational, even though I'm still telling jokes and setups and punchlines, you know?
Yeah.
But I performed there a bunch. I probably performed at Comic Strip Live the most. And then just wherever you can get on stage, you know?
It's not easy. Comedy is very, very tough. They say a lot of people who are actors who do drama and who do comedy, they'll always say it's much, much tougher to do comedy. It just really, really is. It's not easy,
Well,
especially stand up.
It's about creating moments. You have to, you're taking people on a trip. When you do drama, it's also hard. And there's nothing to downplay about that. Creating a touching moment is also difficult. But with comedy, it's literally, it's setting them up. It's setting them up. And you're getting them into your routine, right? So here's my voice, here's my setup, and then they know it. If you're good at it, they know the joke is coming before the line is coming, and they're primed to laugh. So, you know, and then not every stand-up comic parlays into sitcom comedy or even commercial comedy, and vice versa. A lot of actors think, oh, okay, I just need to get on stage and work things out. I'll just go right into stand-up. It's not. It's very hard, you know.
How do you feel comedy has changed over the years? It's changed in many different ways, shapes, and forms.
I don't know. I mean, I'm having a good day, so I'm in a positive mood, you know. But comedy, no one tells you this. Comedy, stand-up comedy, especially in New York, but whatever city you're in, is as much about the hangout and who you're friends with and who you know, as it is about the writing and the performing and the stage time. Because the people you work closely with, as you go up the ladder, they bring you up the ladder, and you bring them up the ladder, and you know, you're recommending each other and you're networking like that. It's a skill that nobody tells you about. You know, there is no line. You know, there are certainly people that are great writers and super funny that don't excel or have success as other people do. So that can be really frustrating. So there's a lot of like, you know, kind of that going on, you know, people getting pulled up the ranks that maybe haven't done the work as much, you know, that can get frustrating. So that's changed in that regard. Like, for example, you used to be able to, or you used to have to, you still do, but you used to have to hang out. You better have no girlfriend and you better have no kids, because you need to hang out till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, right? And get to know these guys. And not everybody's a normal human being. People are kind of, comedians are a little crazy sometimes, you know, and you just kind of come through the battle together and hope that you end up on the other side. So there's a lot of elements to stand up and, you know, creating funny that you can only learn by doing it. You can read a book and like, you know, hypothesize about it, but you only learn it from, it's called like late night, like where you would get up on stage and the only time you could perform and there's 2 drunk people making out in the back, and that's your 5 minutes. So they're not laughing. And if they're paying attention, if they're awake, you know, but that's your time to get up and practice. And
how have you handled hecklers over the years, if there are any?
Yeah, depends on what they're saying and what they want. You know, I think comics are angry people in general. So like if you get to us too much, we just unleash, and that's where we're best. You know, like friends of mine have said, like, you know, and I'm the little guy, so I'm not exactly the guy that you're like, oh, I'm glad Josh is here to intimidate everyone so they don't mess with us and he's going to kick their ass. But I'm like the loud guy. So like if something trouble or Like no one's louder and quicker than me in that moment. So that kind of comes out of you. It's kind of like a beast. So hecklers, it all depends on what they're saying and what mood you're in, you know, and how you deal with it. Sometimes you could turn it. I saw this guy, and Patrice O'Neill. Have you ever heard of Patrice? Has anyone here heard of Patrice O'Neill?
Mm-hmm.
He was maybe one of, if not the most brilliant comics I've ever seen. And he was a guy that could flip a crowd either way within a crowd. He could make a crowd love him. And I saw him do both at the same time. I was on the floor. I've never seen talent like that, you know? And that's a lot of times, like I've seen him go, oh, you hate me now? Give me 10 minutes and I'll have you back on my side. And sure enough, 10 minutes later,
he did,
like standing ovation, you know? So it all depends. Hecklers
kind of like Joan Rivers a little bit too. Yeah, Joan Rivers too could do that. Bring her back, bring people back.
She could, and I've seen her perform, and I met her actually, and she was
giving
me advice. I met her at a show, you know, and afterwards with my wife actually, and she said to me, "Just do you, talk about you and your own personal stuff, because nobody can copy that, nobody can take that away from you. Just tell your stories." And I was like, "Oh, yeah."
There's another name too, Don Rickles.
Rickles was, well, they were the same, right? The two of them, they pushed people, right? They in a loving a way as they can. They heckled famous people. They heckled people right off the bat, and they pushed you. So they set the tone with that kind of comedy from the beginning. You weren't going to scream something out at one of them because you were going to get your ass ripped apart if you tried to heckle Rickles. You kidding me? You know? Joan Rivers, she was ripping people. That was their style of comedy. So even that, you say, how has comedy changed, right? There's not a lot of people like going after anyone, anything, topics. That's what comedy's supposed to be. We're supposed to, you know, the whole like movement that's come out now. You know, you say your pronouns.
Political correct.
She, political correct. She, her, he, him, they, them, you know, fine. But like, that's prime comedy, you know, a subject matter to comment on. Not everybody's going to do it right. A lot of people are going to do it wrong. But like, that's the job, is to take things that are changing in the world and comment on it. And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of people are just scared to talk about anything that can make anybody upset. That's not what, to me, what comedy is. So case in point, when I was doing Drunk Shakespeare, that whole show was about, it was Shakespeare and it was drinking, but it was also about like penis jokes and just pushing the political limits and pushing everything, right? And I would get up there and I would do, my style was kind of the old way that Andrew Dice Clay making comments about, you know, not hurtful comments, but maybe race or age or this. And some of the younger performers would sometimes give me like side eye, like, oh, why would you can't make fun of him like that. And I'm like, look at him. He's on the floor laughing. Everybody's laughing. This is the area to do this. I'm not doing it on the street. I'm not doing it at a dinner party, right? This is the place to do it. And these people are loving it. So there's a shift like that as well. I get it. I get their style, but you know, I kind of like the old style of doing it too.
You had an opportunity, and there's a fantastic segment we have here to meet somebody that I actually had an opportunity to meet as well. And that is John Gray, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. I interviewed him on PBS during when that Men From Mars, Women Are From Venus special was out. And that's John Gray, the author and creator of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, which a lot of people remember. But you had an opportunity to actually meet him as well. And you're doing a routine. Tell us about that.
So I did his show. So they took his book. First of all, he's written like what? 10 books on all kinds of relationship topics. The guy is a machine, you know. He's totally cornered the market. Most people, you just mention that, they know it, they know the name. And some years back, a producer came and took the book and they turned it into a one-man show. And then like 2 years after it had started to be performing, it was a one-man show. And I auditioned. I didn't know what it was. Ironically, I went in and I said there was a page that they wanted, you know, auditions, right? You got to memorize.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
A lot of times it's right there. And they had a page of dialogue. And I was like, they don't expect me to know
memorize all that. Right.
Right. So it was maybe like 3 PM. And I walk in and I say to the casting director, I said, you guys have been here all day, right? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, you've probably heard these lines all day, just basically being read off the page, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, let me just do my stand-up. Let me do 2 minutes of my stand-up. And what do you think? Deal? You know, because I was like, I'm just going to read it otherwise. And I did it, and they loved it. So they told me later when I booked the job, they were like, we knew we wanted you from the moment you did that. So what that ended, then obviously I had to learn the script and everything, but it basically was the book, but being told from like the husband and wife perspective. So it wasn't a true story necessarily, but when they gave me the job, they said, you can make this your show as much as you want, as long as the general themes are still there. So I'm a New Yorker. You hear my voice, you know, I changed so many things about New York and Brooklyn, Queens, and the accent. I did a lot of bad accents, you know, on purpose, because accents are funny, but when you don't do them well, they're insulting unless you call it out that you're doing them terribly, right? And that became part of the joke too. And then finally, so I'm doing the show, Chicago. I'm like really doing well with it. I'm going all over. I'm seeing the whole country. I'm seeing friends that I haven't seen, family in years by just doing the show. And then I end up in San Francisco, and John Gray comes out with his whole fandom. They just pack the theater, 500-seat theater, just packed, right? And I don't know if it was a combination of just obviously having a packed house or them and his book and me, I was in a good place with the show at that point. And he was hysterical laughing the whole time and loved it. And it just was the biggest honor ever. The guy who wrote the book, like, performance. I was like,
and there it is. Let's take a look at a clip from that right now and enjoy it. Josh Hyman doing his thing. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Hi, I'm here with Josh Hyman. I'm Dr. John Gray, author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I'm blown away. The show is fantastic. Everybody gave a standing ovation. We had such a great time. I can't believe how funny you are.
She puts it on hold. It's her friend Jen. She walks across the room, picks up the pasta, puts it in the water. She starts writing dates on a calendar that have nothing to do with the conversation that she's having with Jen. Jen, yeah, I don't know, my feet are freezing. Are your feet freezing? Oh yeah, I guess it could be a circulation issue. I didn't even think about that. It could be freezing. Then she notices the baby's diaper needs to get changed, so she starts changing it with one toe, right? She's writing dates on the calendar, talking to Jen, and stirring the pasta. Why? My feet are freezing. I don't even understand. And all of it's getting done. The plans, the poop, and the pasta, and it all comes out perfectly. I can't do that. This is how I make pasta. I take the pot, I put the pot on the stove, I turn the stove on, and then I wait. That's when that D word, that ugly D word starts popping up, you know? That's a different D word, ma'am. I don't know what that means. She's watching a totally different show right now. I don't know. Here's one, here's a new thing. It's called cuddling. Have you heard this thing? Oh, it's really good, so I'm going to the front, okay? You gotta do one hand on the booby, one on the booby, and one on the belly. One on the belly. Now sway with me, sway. Because the guys, we think we're glorious lovers. You know we do. We're like, yeah, I'm gonna do that thing that she likes. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it again, and then again, and again, and then I'm gonna do it again and again. She's on the edge of the bed, and she's like, please tell me he's not gonna do that again.
I miss doing that show.
And he loved it. He loved the guy that created Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And were you left with the confirmation that men are from Mars and women are from Venus?
I'll tell you what, you listen to the show. I mean, it was really dumbed down from the book.
Sure.
Like the basics are really true. Think about it. Like the big thing in the book was like men need, the big thing in the play, was men need small compliments, right? Women need big compliments, right? So you can say whatever you want. It's sexist and that's old and outdated, but really,
What do you mean?
it's kind of like,
Preferably like diamonds, or how big?
if you can afford those kind of compliments, then you do it. But I mean, like, like guys need like, hey, thanks for doing the dishes. Thanks for taking the garbage out. That's it. Right. It's like, I don't need thanks for going to work today and earning money for our family and food. I need
Slaying the
like,
dragon. Yeah.
I need just this little, like, thanks for remembering to turn the light on and leave it on that I like in the middle of the night. Right. Whereas women are kind of the opposite. Right. If you say that, like, thanks for doing I'm here to do the dishes for you. That's all you notice that I do. Like, women need the big compliments, like the I love yous all the time, the hug, the little moments. Right. So I kind of, stole some of it in just general day-to-day talking. And like, if you think about it, it's true. And it helps with your relationship, and it can help friends who are going through like a thing like that. So anyway, I love doing that show. But if you notice a difference in how I was performing in that show and how I was performing in the stand-up, right? So how much more physical and how much more of the stage I was taking up, and my energy, my voice was projecting. That's where I'm most comfortable. That show was probably the best display of me as a performer than anything I've ever done. I wish I could do something like that again, even though right now, obviously, we can't do anything like that.
Are you writing anything or producing or creating anything?
Trying to do stuff online. My friend here, someone just commented, Daniel Tobias, was watching. He told me to shave my head because he hates the long hair right now.
Yeah, tell Joshua to buzz cut that hair of his.
But he's somebody I've been working with, but like virtually, right? So like he wrote a radio play, right, called The Mosh Peach Murders. So we ended up having this amazing recorded reading with Broadway actors, and it's a radio play, right? So when would I have ever done something like that? But here you are in this scenario. You get to play a character, 5 episodes of this, like 40 minutes. It's basically a podcast, right? It's awesome. It's such a great story, murder mystery. And then otherwise, I wrote a screenplay with a writer partner of mine, but it's called Hebrew School Dropout, which is he's self-explanatory. A guy, he's a kid, he drops out of Hebrew school. He realizes in his 30s that he missed out on a huge money opportunity for the gifts, so he goes back, and all kinds of shit happens. So I've been writing a ton like that, and just trying to produce. I do parodies. So I with the kids too, like being stuck home with the family, we did a lot of like stuff together. That was just fun, and they got into it, and I got into it. I mean, right? What else are you supposed to do?
We also have the story of Hanukkah we dug up.
Oh, is that on Vimeo?
Tell us.
So that's a true story. So 2 years ago, right? I looked so good. Damn it, I look good there. All right. Anyway. That's 35 pounds lighter.
It's amazing. Right? COVID has done a lot to people.
Yeah, it's done a lot of gaining things.
Well, you have to be 6 feet apart from each other and 10 feet apart away from your refrigerator.
That was a true story. I didn't know. My daughter was in the car, and she's like, "Daddy, what's Hanukkah?" And I start like, what? Why is there Hanukkah? And I started like trying to tell it, and I was like, oh my god, I don't really know all the details. Actually, I have a better version of that. Well, anyway, you could play that one. But basically, I turned it into a bit where I was like, I don't really know the story, but I started telling it in like movie tropes.
Yeah, it was cool. I saw that. Yeah.
And then recently, what I did was I actually integrated the clips from the movie that I was talking about, like into the set.
I saw that in this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. I did it again for dreidels. I'm actually working on a few more of those for different holidays and also different like famous stories. So like things that like everyone, like Christmas, everyone thinks they know, but like, do you really know? I don't really know, or like famous like Romeo and Juliet, like. So that's kind of stuff I'm working on too. And I just want to say too, Linda, very sweet. She said something very sweet here. And yes, if my son, where is it? Right here. If my son handed me a toy phone, would you answer it?
Yes.
Wouldn't you? And absolutely, I would have that is one of my most fun things to do as both a dad and like a character and an actor. And
absolutely.
I drop everything
for
immediately get into their world.
That's right.
As long as I can. And it's just, I don't know, maybe a lot of us know what it's like. We have some parents who kind of just were always like, I'll give you a second and then go away kind of thing, but like nowadays it's different. Parenting's different. And I drop my shit all the time.
Everything for them.
World.
Absolutely. One of the blessings and joys that, are there, and during COVID and all the things we've been going through, the love of family. And I think it's been reinforced during all of this in a cool way. Hey, gang, here's the story of Hanukkah as told by Josh Hyman. Josh Hyman. Here we go, folks.
Go for it.
Enjoy.
She said, Daddy, tell me the story of Hanukkah. And I felt like she was old enough to know the story. So I started telling her the story until I realized that I really don't know the story of Hanukkah. I was like, okay, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Well, she said, long time ago, like before Incredibles 2 came out. I said, yes, way before. Your great grandpa was there. She said, Grandpa was there? I said, yes, okay. Grandpa was there in Israel, and him and the Jews were fighting the Greeks or the Syrians. They may have been Roman, okay? So they're fighting the Romans, and there was this warrior. His name was Judah Maccabee, and he had this group of Jewish warriors named the Maccabees, who were an Orthodox Jewish a cappella group from Yale University. They sold lots of albums. They were really good, remixing songs a cappella. And they're fighting the Babylonians, and they're winning sometimes these small wars, But then eventually they started losing. They weren't doing so well, and they ended up in the temple one night, and they wanted to light the candle and the menorah, just for one moment of inspiration, and they found a little bit of oil, and they took the oil and they lit the menorah, and it was supposed to burn for one night, but instead a miracle happened, and for the next 8 nights, they were able to make potato latkes over that menorah on a little skillet, like a little one-at-a-time latkes, flipping them and onions and potatoes, and they're like, Oprah, you get a latke, you get a latke, you get a latke. And everybody was inspired, and they left the temple to go and fight the Germans, and they're just out there fighting. And then Judah on the battlefield, he takes this blue paint and he puts it on his face, and he's like, you may take our lives, but you'll never take our freedom. And then Luke Skywalker and the Jedi showed up, and they put the lightsabers on. That's why they call it the Festival of Lights, And they fought back the Nazis, and they won, and the reason that we celebrate Hanukkah at this time of year is because the night they won was the night that Jesus was born. That's the story of Hanukkah.
Give it up for Josh Hyman, everybody!
So now everybody knows the story of Hanukkah as told by Josh Hyman.
You are welcome.
You are.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody's digging to try to find some new thing to do or talk about, So it's like, it's so hard, There's so many comedians out there. There's so many entertainers. It's like, what else do you talk about?
What else do you talk about? Right.
Little nooks, even songwriters. If you're a songwriter,
There's so many. There's America's Got Talent, American Idol, this, that. There's a oversaturation of a lot of things, right? Where before people could stand out a little bit more. Now everybody's doing,
right. And now the thing is like, I hate to say it, but like even the American Idol people and The Voice and all that, right? Like, you follow them, you watch the show for months, and they're amazing, some of them, right? But like the arc, the journey is still the same. A lot of times, like 98% of the time, those shows are over, the last show, and you never hear, or you don't know any. You have to go dig and find those people and follow them and hope that they're still digging and they're still writing and they're still
right.
The journey is the same. You get a little bit more exposure, from those shows, but it's a lot of work, and it's good. You want to do it. I'm not saying I'm not complaining. Like, you want to do it because you want people to hear your voice, but there's just a lot of competition right now from YouTube. There are these videos on YouTube where people are just watching other videos and then laughing or reacting to other videos.
Reaction videos. And they have millions of followers talking about a song that Barbara Streisand did in 1980 or something. And they have millions of followers and they're just talking about their opinion of that song. And all these people follow that. I can't figure that out. I don't get that.
Could you do it, Jim? Could you do that? Could you put something on the screen and then on it? Of course you could do that.
Yeah.
You can do that tomorrow. It's just not what I want to do to get that kind of
no. Yeah.
It's just not how I want to do it.
You want to earn it. You want to earn it and you want it to be you, not you reviewing somebody else's thing. Because it's all subjective. Opinion is subjective. It's how many movies have I gone to where the movie reviewers have said it was awful, it was don't even bother, and you go and it was fantastic.
Yeah, you had fun.
Yeah,
fun movie. The word "fun" needs to go back into movie descriptions. I had fun. It wasn't the best story ever.
So why do you think it is? Why is society liking those kinds of things as opposed to some of the really good stuff that has been made?
I think it's too much instant gratification. So it becomes laziness. Is there a
dumbing down too happening?
Yeah, a lot of it. And like just the simple fact that you could be on your phone and looking at Instagram stories that aren't allowed to be more than 15 seconds. And you're just like, pop, 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 pop.
And that takes 15 seconds just to say I'm Josh Hyman.
Yeah, especially for me with this fat face. You know how long it takes to form words?
But it's the art of the buildup, that's what's happening. The buildup is disappearing, the experience, all of that. Fantasy's gone, daydreaming's gone, all of that stuff. And everything has to be just quick now and 15 seconds and next. I've never been that way either. I'm not that way either.
No, and I don't want to be that. But here's the thing. Here's my point. You can be that way. You may not want to be that way.
You can.
If you're not paying attention, next thing you know, you're like, did I just watch this for 45 minutes of just videos going? It's addictive. But there are certain people who just don't care. And they're like, I'm just going to go with the flow. And that's what's popular right now. And they become, whatever you call them. What do you call them? Influencers or
oh, look at Denise says, we used to have to create. Now people just... have to know how to access stuff, and that's it.
Right. And to me, the art and the fun is in the story and the twists,
and the creation
and the creation and the work. And like, I'm not saying the stuff that goes out there. I have a friend who's a brilliant comedian, but he puts these 15-second clips of him dancing in the most ridiculous outfits. And it's
like
really
on TikTok
funny.
Or something.
It's so funny. I can't stop laughing at it, but I don't know. I can't do that. I don't want to do it, and I don't think I could do it, but I'll laugh at it. But so my point is like, it's just really hard to.
You're a storyteller. That's why you're a storyteller. And that's the difference. There's a whole thing to it. There's a depth to the work. I'm the same way. I like to be a storyteller. Not that, I haven't done quick things and urgent things and blah, blah, blah. We all do it. But the things that really fill your cup are the storytelling and bringing people in and taking them on a journey. And if it's whether you're acting or you're doing comedy, it's taking them with you and they don't know where they're going until boom, the end.
Here, Twitter. Twitter's a perfect example for comedy, right? I'm not going to get into the whole Donald Trump. But what do comics do, especially right now? So everybody's like listening to this. If you like comedy, right? Where have comics put all their energy? A lot of them, they were always on Twitter, right? But where are we going to get satisfaction, right? Twitter is a great place to write a really tight joke. Few words as possible, set up, get to the point, and as many likes as possible. The likes are the laughs right now, right? So the physical comics are doing things with videos, right? Instagram and TikToks and all this stuff. But Twitter, right, is like a writer's medium for this. The problem with it, in my opinion, is that it's gone. Once you do it, you get 25 likes. It's gone to you too. It's on to the next one, right? Is that going to come? There's a friend of mine who's like tweeting constantly and like really funny as a comedian. really funny stuff. And I'm like saying to him, but also kind of praying, being like, I hope this all ends up being a set one day that you do 100 times that ends up becoming super famous or something, because it's really good writing and really funny stuff. And that's what I feel like we're satisfying the masses too much in a race against each other.
Right.
Try to get as many likes as possible.
It's all about the likes, the follows, and all this other stuff, and it's losing the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. Because sometimes some of those are even empty. There's you get the click, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't lead to anything. You don't even hear from that person. There's no interaction. Where before, when you heard the clap, you could look and see the person right there, and they're smiling and they're happy, and then you may see them again. And we have lost some of that human side of it.
But also, like, who's a comic you like you could maybe do jokes from? I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Like, let's just say Mitch Hedberg, right? We'll go back to Hedberg, right? Hedberg had like this. He died young, obviously, but he had a couple of albums out, and he had a whole slew of jokes. If you're talking to another Hedberg fan, the two of you, after just a few minutes, are going through his whole routine and doing every joke together, one after the other. Why? Because it's not because he had it all over Twitter. It's because that's what he made his name about on that material. And then it was just replayed and played in all kinds of different mediums. And all of us, all his fans, ingested it. It became like how to describe a hamburger, your favorite hamburger. I could tell you every ingredient in there, you know? And that race, that constant, like instant gratification, I think prevents us as comics and storytellers and actors from getting to that point, because we're always constantly, what's the new joke? Oh, I did that 6 months ago. Who gives a fuck if you did that 6 months ago, right? If you did it 6 months, you should be doing it again and doing it better and getting it better till everyone knows that joke.
You're perfecting it, yeah.
Perfecting it. And when they stop knowing that joke, then you go to the next set of Twitter one-liners that you wrote. It's infuriating.
Can you be more specific? Yeah. He's wanted to say that for 10 years. And on the Jim Master Show Live, he got the opportunity and all the time.
Thank you. I quit. Company just kicked me out. Thank you. Good night.
We didn't do him for just 10 minutes of time, and he's got the opportunity to vent, and didn't that feel good? Oh, so good. Somebody's peeking behind the left side of your
who is
the left. The other side. Somebody peeked.
Are you still awake? What are you
doing?
Why are you still awake?
Because he wants,
You want to say hi one more time? Everybody loves seeing
Benjamin. There's Benjamin. Hi, Benjamin. Hi, Benj.
Everybody's saying hi.
Hi.
Yeah, very quick. Say hi, and then you got to go to bed. Say hi. Okay. All right. Say peace out. Peace out. All right.
Peace out.
Good night. I'll see you later. I'll be in there in a minute.
That's what you do it for.
See you in the morning.
We've got a couple of cool shots here too we want to show. Maybe you can take us through this. What was happening here?
Shakespeare. So, you know what I love about this picture? The suspenders. You see the suspenders?
Yes.
So this was the outfit that the I'm forgetting wardrobe.
Yeah, the wardrobe people. Yep.
Put me in. This is a live show. I'm the host of this MC. So basically, the beginning of the show is me interacting with the crowd, getting everybody on my side and kind of loosened up and almost kind of working the crowd a little bit, making jokes at people. And then once the Shakespeare starts, I play a smaller role. I play one of the smaller roles in the play, and then I come back at the end. So I have my job to do. The suspenders, though, not only were just such an iconic look for the role, but also were so comfortable when you're like
very Larry King-esque. Yeah.
Very Larry King. And when you're a chubby guy and belts and you're always rolling out of something, this are the greatest thing ever invented.
They hold everything up.
Everything up. I could have been a fireman after this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I love this. So that's me doing early days of Drunk Shakespeare. And, obviously we've been on hold for a year now. It's crazy.
Where was this?
I feel like that was at a show at Atlantic
City?
No, Atlantic acting school, maybe.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah,
think some former alumni had a show and they asked me to do it. That was
yeah,
kind of my look too there with the suit coat with the hoodie over it,
yeah.
Yeah, that's the first commercial I ever did was ESPN commercial, where basically the joke was that they had regular people who got to work on the set of ESPN for the day. That was the
Right.
joke.
Yeah.
So I had to hold the boom mic and I kept hitting the guy in the head with
You
the
did one for
mic.
Good Morning America too, didn't
I
you?
did. I actually, that was a great,
You were like the
amazing.
camera guy and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I kept getting called back. So we were their fake crew. So I did a series. I did maybe 4 different spots for them. It was awesome. I
For
love
Good
that
Morning
job.
America and ABC, right? Yeah.
Right. Good Morning America, ABC. But we were and I did Jimmy, and I was getting lines and they loved me. They were sending me the script and say, could you work on this a little bit, XYZ? It was such an honor,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I really that was really great just from what's funny when it comes to this business with like the work and the money. The money is always there. You want to be paid for what you're doing. You want to be professional, but sometimes there's a job you do that's not going to pay you that much money, but it is so super satisfying and just like awesome and fun. That was the Good Morning America one. It was short little promos. It wasn't a lot of money to do it, but if they called, I was there and I did as many as I could. They got to know me. It was
And the
really
exposure
nice.
is great too, and
Exposure.
it's everybody knows Good Morning America on ABC, and
It
then
works as a national spot. It's not
yes,
promoting a national commercial, but it's on a national
right, it's promoting the
show.
show itself, right? Good Morning
Right.
America,
But
and then
then sorry.
Blue Bloods. I mean, on CBS, which is a
Right.
fantastic. I mean, you got a
Right.
chance to be on Blue Bloods and other television shows. How do you like the acting part of things as well?
I love it. It's all escapism,
It is. It is.
from a layman's non-actor's, definition, it's escapism, right? But from an actor's perspective, it's
Layman. I've been calling you Hyman all night. You're Josh Layman?
you want to give me some layman, I take it. I right like to the non-actor it's escapism. To an actor, it's like just being able to like play and make other characters and people be real and the work that you put into that and then it works, that's the satisfaction there, right? So the Blue Bloods thing was a great example of that. I was only supposed the audition was for me to do one line, like, so what's your name? Like that was it. And then and I did that and they liked me. And then in the audition, she said, can you just improvise one take? Right. And I said, okay. So I went on this whole crazy, I don't even know what hit me. I just went on this whole improvised take of like, also like, you want to like go out and then maybe if you like, that's a nice shirt. You know what? It's really funny. My mom is like really into like, I just went on this like rant and they called me and they said, we don't want you for the other role, but we want to write another role for you for that part because that was so funny. Like, right? So what an honor, right? So I go there and I go to set and I'm sitting across from Bridget Moynihan. And again, same thing with the De Niro and the Eli Manning thing, right? I'm in awe of them, but I'm not making it known. I'm just joking around with them, right? So I joke with her about something and she reacted and I was like, okay, I know that I'm going to be able to like play with her in this moment. And look, I'm a nobody to nobody on that show. There's been a gazillion episodes. I was on one show for 5 lines, but like in that moment, that was my time to like do my thing. And I sat down and we did the lines. And then the director said, okay, do improvise, do whatever you want. And that take, the improvised take is what ended up making it into the episode. And the director like hugs me after, and she's like, I said to Bridget Morning, I said, do you want to interject at any of this? Like, I'll just stop. And she's like, no, it's so funny. Just keep going. I was like, okay. And then we were like, afterwards, you take like B-roll, right? They turn the camera around, they get from behind her and from behind me and different angles. So I was just like teasing her the whole time. It was so funny. I was like, did we go to high school together? But the sound is off. I was like, you look like somebody that would have like chased me around high school, right? You're that kind of girl, right? Yeah. She just was laughing though. That was great. It was the best day ever, And then I did I did Blue. So that was good. You want to know how great that is? You know why that life would be phenomenal? Is that I did that one episode for that show, and 7 years ago, and I still get residual checks for that one episode. Could you imagine being on a regular? Any of these actors, if you guys don't know, you want to know what it like, why TV acting can be like the home run, is that if you get onto a show for 3 seasons, you're even like a kind of sometimes regular actor. You're not even the main cast. You get residuals. Your fringe money is paid for the rest of your life.
Then if it goes into syndication and reruns,
it just keeps coming. You don't even know. It just shows up. Could you imagine what guys like Seinfeld, like
Seinfeld.
Say, what happened
Everybody loves Raymond, Ray Romano, and 10 years that show.
But the lesser guys, like Kramer, right? You sit there and go, well, what is he doing? He never did anything after that. He doesn't have to do anything after that. He got paid for the show, and now every time it's on TV, every month he gets another check. You win. You just won life. Congratulations. You win, Kramer.
So you're saying you're available for that sort of scenario if anybody's watching right now?
I will do whatever the frick anybody wants me. Get on something. I'm naked from the waist down right now. I said that already, right?
Who are you looking at? Who are you looking at? I'm over here.
Hi. And wait, you want a funny one? I'll tell you another funny one. So
that's the thing about the internet. I mean, everybody, when you watch the newscasts and you have like these high-level people on network news and they're like, yes, I can see you, Don. Do you see me? It's like, no. The camera, actually, your webcam is here. You're supposed to be looking here. Yes, I see you. No, don't. You're looking at you.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a whole new world, isn't it?
It's a whole world. And now with everybody home, right? Because it used to be in studio. Right
now, everybody
on the show. So this always kills me when the hosts of these programs, they ask a question. So what do you think about Donald Trump? And then they go,
yeah. No, it's like the picture.
Great, thank you so much, Jim. Thanks for being on this.
or their image starts to morph and disappear and become grainy, and I'm like. There was a time where that was not acceptable on television. Now it's like, it's like
so funny. The whole world changed. The whole acting auditions. I would have to go. I have to plan my day. Got to get on the train. I got to get there right at the right time. I got to plan it. I got to get home to pick up the kid. Now, blue screen. I do it 100 times. Self-tape. I can edit it. I can do it. I mean, it's so much better. If this becomes the new norm, this is a good thing. This is a good thing.
It probably will.
If it becomes the new norm, I will be super happy about that because, man, I could do it in the middle of the night. I could do it. I have a reader. I have my wife who can help me out.
At any time. Yeah, exactly. Here's another cool shot.
That's all right. Who wants to sleep with that guy? Look at that guy. Huh? He looks like Ron Jeremy on a good day.
Is that at a hotel type thing?
Yeah, that was The Deuce on HBO.
Oh yeah, HBO.
Which was supposed to be like set in the 70s, and this is supposed to be like the seedy hotel where like the hookers would go and turn their tricks, upstairs. So that was also like I walked into that audition and I didn't know what the show was. It hadn't existed yet, and I literally was having a terrible day. And I went in, I read the one line, I left, and then my agent called me and was like, I've never had a producer be so exuberant about somebody's audition before. And I was like, I literally had the worst day. And I was like, I wasn't even trying.
Yeah.
And I booked the role, and I had this like really crazy beard at the time. And the director and the producers were like, listen, don't shave the beard. And I was like, but you guys aren't shooting for like 6 months. I have to go to like a wedding. My wife was pissed, Like, you have to. I was like, what do you want me to do? So I had this like crazy long beard for like a month and a half, 6 weeks. And then that was really cool because I got on set and I go to the trailer to get the makeup done. And to my left is James Franco, and to my right is Maggie Gyllenhaal. And I'm just sitting there in the middle. And it was like another De Niro moment. Like, I can't believe I'm working with these two actors right now. And he was doing his own thing. He didn't care. And Maggie Gyllenhaal couldn't have been sweeter. She was just like super talking to me and asking me questions and this and that. Tried to get me some other lines on top of the ones that I had. And And then they shaved that monstrosity out of my facial hair to make me look like a porn rapist from the 70s, you know. And the funny part about that, the two funny stories I tell from that are that one of them was, if you see there's a ashtray right there by the bell.
Yeah.
And they were like, could you just pick up this cigarette and just like be smoking it? And I was like, I gotta be honest, guys. I was like, I don't smoke. I've never smoked. If I try to pretend like I'm smoking, it's gonna look like I'm pretending like I'm smoking, you know. And they just stood there for a second. They were like, what about a ham sandwich? And I was like, I could do a ham sandwich. Let's go get the ham sandwich.
Right.
So like brought the sandwich out. I'm just eating the ham sandwich. It was the greatest collaboration in the history of movie making.
Now, is this still something people can see? Can they see this on HBO or elsewhere?
I mean, I think it only did 2 seasons. And
yeah.
the stupid, funny, annoying part about it is that they ended up killing this character off. But I didn't get to be him being killed off. So they just said it. I was like, you couldn't even let me just be dead. Like, bring me back for another episode. Just be dead in the thing. And they were like, no. Oh, Sammy died? The guy who runs the hotel. That's sad. I'm like, oh, motherfucker. So, I mean, it's the pilot. So you can see the pilot for that episode. But the best part of that day was at the end, I went to leave. And they were like, okay, thanks so much. And I was getting dressed. And I'm like, I opened the door to the trailer. And I'm like, hello? I was like, is there a razor? Nobody left a razor. No one was around. So I had to go home on the subway from Washington Heights all the way down to the Upper East Side with these mutton chops, 70s beat. I looked like I was trying to kill someone. It was frightening for me. People were getting up and walking away from me on the subway. It was horrific.
I think I saw you on News 4 that night too.
It was me. That was me.
That
People
was
were
you.
frightened. Rapists walking around the Upper East Side. I was like, I don't even know. I am married. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Here's another cool shot. Where was this?
That's also Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. That was the simplest set. You see that big banner behind me?
Yeah.
That was our whole set. We had that one and then a female version of that. It rolled up into like a poster and put in a little thing, and we would just take a couch from backstage at whatever theater we were at. And that was our whole traveling set. It was brilliant. It was a really well produced, minimal show, and I would do an hour and a half version. That's great. That's
you talking to me?
That actually helped me get an agent. This is from this is a monologue competition that was run out of Brooklyn for a couple of years called I forget now. I forget the name of it. IFFY, whatever monologue competition. The name of it. IFNY. And what it was so cool about it was like they said, come with 2 monologues, a regular monologue and then a famous monologue. So the regular monologue you got to perform, and the judges, semi-famous judges, Malik Yoba, some other people, would give you a twist. Okay, now do that monologue. Here's 3 things to be thinking about while you're doing that monologue. I want you to be you can't use your left hand. You know, you're also a priest, and there's an alligator chasing you, and you'd have to incorporate that into the monologue. So that was like a skill to show like the thinking actor. Who's the actor that can adapt on their feet to the conditions or whatever the director does. And it always ended up being fun and funny. And then the famous monologue, which was where I think I really, not to float my own boat, but I got it. I figured out how to like do it well. So I would take a famous monologue and I would completely flip the character who was delivering the monologue from how you knew them. So for example, I did it 3 times. I did the competition. So one time I did it where you remember Pulp Fiction, where he's in the booth at the end and he's like Ezekiel 25:17, the path of the righteous man, you know, that whole thing. Right. I did it as a Hasidic rabbi, right? I dressed as a Hasidic rabbi and I did that monologue. It crushed, right? But the picture you just had up was the scene, ironically, from Coming to America. Remember the barbershop scene? Where it's like, how come every time I talk about boxing, some white guy's got to bring up Rocky Marciano? Rocky Marciano, let me tell you something. Rocky Marciano's good, right? You know that thing? You're right. I did it as a flamboyant hairdresser, like male hairdresser, and how come every time I talk about boxing, some wise guy's got to bring up Rocky Marciano, right? And I did it like that, and they caught me in that moment. So that picture is from that.
June says you've played some wild characters.
That's where I'm at the best. Jerry Duncan, it's me.
Jerry Duncan.
Me.
That's funny.
Funny.
When you look at all this, the incredible things you've done during your career and you're still doing, what are some of the things that continue to inspire you and bring you, great blessing and joy? And like this year that we've had where we're, socially distant and we've had to stay in our homes and all of this, you must have a lot of incredible things that you've been writing down as a result of the craziness of everything that we've had to deal with that just came at us all at once and that we're still dealing with even in the new year. You got to laugh, because if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah. And it's how easy is it to do that, right?
Yeah.
I think we're still all in the cloud of it all. So it's hard to answer as far as, everybody's pretending that they figured it out, and some people are still reeling. And I think the big thing that I realized is that it's allowed me to just get back to what I want to do, not having the pressures and of other people saying, well, I think this is funnier than this. And I just got back to doing things that made me happy, like parody songs, or I had a lot more free time to do that kind of Twitter joke, and not because that kind of joke would be what makes it into my set necessarily, but it just is a great tool for writing. It's a great practice for writing, like be short, be concise, and be funny. And that I got a lot out of that. So from a creative standpoint, it just really helped me get back to like what makes me happy about performing. And then we'll see right where it leads. Some of the stuff I've written, some of the other things that I want to do, I'm like confident that I can do them now, whereas maybe before I just had too much going on to think about it.
Yeah, that's I like.
Is that a good answer?
That's a really good.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, you read the teleprompter perfectly. That's,
well, I mean, for you too. Like, look at what you did. You totally adjusted on the fly. You have your studio set up. You're doing 2 shows a day. You're on every single night. You're probably doing a version of exactly what you always wanted to do. It's like have your own show and have people. And you're cultivating. Look, my lead time for the show was what, 6 weeks? I mean, that's incredible. You knew you've had a person booked for 6 weeks every night. Like that is a testament to you having the time and the freedom to be able to do that. So I think you're probably crushing it more than most, where I'm still kind of talking about it, but doing some stuff, and you're like actually doing it. Like, bravo.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Very kind of you to say that. Our friend here, Linda in St. Augustine, Florida. I know. It'd be nice to be there right about now. As far as acting, which role did you like the most so far? If you were to pick one, I know it's
okay. I'm going to say, well, I mean, Linda, you've seen the bigger ones, right? So, I mean, and they're not huge, but comparatively to the world of acting, but like the Blue Bloods one was fun. And certainly I do it for the story too. I like to have a good story. Working with Robert De Niro, all that stuff is like dream come true, right? But my favorite acting role I think I've ever done was a play that I did through my theater company here in New York City called Rising Sun. And it was called, you're going to forgive me, but it's called Pwned. It's a gamer's term, PWND. It's a term that when people are playing video games against each other through the internet, if one guy wins or beats the other guy, he'll write PWND. It means like basically like I owned you, Anyway, having nothing to do with that, it was basically a story about 2 best friends, and they lived with the fiance of one of the best friends, and there's this whole confrontation, and one guy, the fiance is accusing the best friend of sleeping with the girlfriend, and everybody's kind of like, talking it out and arguing it out, but you're not really sure. It was so well written. You're not really sure if they actually did it, or if the boyfriend was crazy, or if the 2 of them were messing around. And that to this day is the one show play that people talk to me the most about. People who saw it are like, oh my God, I love that. And I was like, yeah, that was so fun to play. Because that was, you know, what you were saying before, Jim, about like comedy and timing, right? It was a dramatic play. It had funny moments. I was definitely the comic relief, but it was really a heavy, dramatic play. And it was about the timing. Our whole rehearsal process, everything that went into that was a dance. It wasn't just the lines and make sure it was this, like, we were moving together. It was just, and based on where we positioned, the whole perspective of what was going on changed. Dude, I'm telling you, it was the great. I was so proud of myself. I so love that I wish, even to this day, sometimes I think, oh man, I wish we could like somehow restage that or capture it again, you know?
So that's something you'd like to do. What are some other things that are on that bucket list career-wise that you would still like to do in your journey?
I would like to book like a national, like a real national commercial, right? Like something, a couple of those. That's kind of my wheelhouse. I get it. The quick moment, pitch the product kind of thing, be the character.
And the sitcom too, right?
And the sitcom, you know, I really think it's, again, that character in that play was basically that, you know. But now I think too that I have kids and, you know, I'm getting a little older. I'm focusing on writing a lot too. So I wouldn't mind it if something like that got made, you know, even if I wasn't necessarily in it. If, again, as a storyteller, if one of these stories that I have to tell and I'm writing them down and getting them down, if someone were to buy one or wanted to make that would be very satisfying too.
Do you like writing too? Do you like writing as much as performing?
I do, when that story is like, I got it. I know how to tell this story. We're storytellers. You tell stories a different way. I get into a crowd of people and I was like, I have to make these people laugh. So I got to get them into my world. I set them up. Boom, that's the joke, right? So yes, the writing can be very satisfying if you're really onto something. It can also be incredibly frustrating if you're like, shit, why can't I make this work? Why is it not working the way I want it to? You know, it's like working out. You know, you want that perfect body. You go, you know, you have a good workout sometimes, you know, but it doesn't, you know, you get home and you're like, what's going on with that?
That's it. So then you go and have some cheesecake.
Right, you're like, fuck. Right.
We'll have some cheesecake.
The worst part with the writing is when, and this is actually, and I would be interested to know what other creatives or comics and stuff, but you know, people are always like, did you see that show? Or did you see that? And sometimes, like, I kind of purposely don't see things because I don't want it to be in my head. And then I'm writing and thinking, is that something that, like, I saw recently and it's like in my head now and I'm just saying it differently, you know? I respect the art and medium, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm never going to catch up on Mad Men and Dexter and Breaking Bad and Call Saul. Like,
did you give up on that right one?
Yeah, just kind of fun.
Because now it looks like a cool earring that Kojak would have or something. Telly Savalas.
So, my oxygen for COVID. Well, you want to see where it goes next? Hold on. No.
That's it.
What did Linda say here? Have you ever used props? You know, no, you know what I use as a prop? I'll use the
yeah, come back on the screen. You weren't half the man you were 5 minutes ago. There he goes. And now here's Josh Hyman.
Comedy, it's stand-up comedy. It's really kind of taboo to use props. You really have to have a purpose. You know, are you going to be even taking your phone out and pretending that you're on the phone? You know, just pretend you're on the phone. You know, like, hey, honey, you know, I don't really need my phone to be able to do that. If anything, I'll use the mic stand or the chair or the stool, you know, climb up on it or something like that. But no, not so much.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to leave our audience with? Maybe something funny, something positive as we continue to go through some of the craziness of life that we're all dealing with. Comedy, levity is very healing, isn't it? Humor is very healing, isn't it?
But it's also, I think cathartic is a better word
right.
than
Yeah.
healing. I mean, look, if you're when my dad died, 2 years ago, which was probably
monumental.
Monumental. And like, there's people in my family who seem to just talk about it and move on, and I just don't understand. I don't get how they can.
I'm not like that type.
Off.
I'm not that way either.
I'm not that. I just can't. I mean, it's obviously affected me, but like, I kept all his voicemails, and I listen to them sometimes just as like a way to like stay in touch. And like, I have, family members who siblings and even my mom, they just don't want to have anything to do with it. No, I don't want to, it's like, so my point being in that is that I kind of, it's affected me. And when I was trying to do comedy after that, very, very, very soon after that. And it was coming out in some weird, dark ways, and I don't know if it was funny or not, but it made me feel better. But it wasn't so much that I was like laughing and feeling better. It was more of like just getting things out. It was cathartic, and now with all that's going on and every day it's a different news story. And, some people are happy. They tell me, thank you for making light of all of this. It helps, but for me, it's really more for me to be like, to like deal with it. If I let the anger take over, then I'm going to be in a bad place. So I like have to make it funny. I have to find humor, even if it's insulting one side or the other or whoever it is, like, because, it's just my way of coping with things.
Which is, again, humor and levity is a good way to try to get through some of the craziness of life and the losses and just the stuff that, comes at us. And
like, I'm the guy in the room where there's like sadness or it's like really heavy, and I see something and I'm like, I gotta comment on that right now or else. Like, it's
you're an observer of life.
Right. And if I don't comment on it, I'm going to be really mad. But then as being a mature adult and a professional, you have to also like know when enough is enough. Like, you make a comment, and I'm talking about real life, not just But I have been glad to and realize more that, especially in the last few months of everything going on, that that's how I deal with it. That's how I cope. Is I just make jokes,
Right. Exactly.
How does it feel to be a lovity? Karen, I love it to you. I'm going to say that to my wife from now on. I love it to you. I'm going to say it to the kids. I love it to you.
They probably hear you. They're on the other side of the blue screen, aren't they?
Oh, they're back there waiting.
They're listening. I notice it's very quiet behind you. No talking, no laughing. You've got kids back there and there's like no sound. That's unusual. Do they have a glass like next to the green screen? The blue screen?
It's annoying. My daughter didn't come say goodnight. What's up with that?
Yeah. This is her 2 hours. No, you're not 15 minutes, but 2 hours worth of fame. Oh, there's the cue.
Well,
Fade to black.
I won't oversay, but like, there's a kids show I did called Umis Umis. It was like a kids counting cartoon show kind of thing, and it was awesome when they were little and they watch it and they're like, Daddy's on the screen?
Yeah. Yes.
So like, they get it. Like, my daughter gets it more now. She understands.
My nephew was like that too when he saw me on television, and I wasn't obviously in the room. It was something I was doing live, and he saw me on television, and when he was a little infant, and he goes up to the screen, he's touching the screen, and they're trying to explain that whole thing, that there's Uncle Jim, but yet at the same time, I'm hearing him, I'm seeing him, but I can't touch him. There's this glass thing in front. It was so we got a couple of photos actually where he's like reaching out, leaning on the screen to me. It's like, I don't understand. Explain this one. I don't know if the adults ever explained it.
We did. They get to an age where they watch a movie 1,000 times and then watch a different movie with the same actor.
Yes.
They go, oh, that was Mary Poppins in the other movie,
and it's a different that person's an actor,
that it's a, and then for me, so now when I do these home auditions and I have the blue screen and the lights and set up, they like to sit in there and watch, and then they judge me. They were like, "That was a good one. That wasn't a good one." I'm like, "Okay, shh, action."
Can't wait to hear what they say about your guest appearance this evening.
They're gonna love it. They're gonna be like, "Who's the guy in the hat? Does he really play that guitar back there? Or is that a prop?"
Cardboard, right? It's just cardboard.
It looks great. He's got a lava lamp from the '90s inside that little that bamboo thing, and a painting that he painted up on the wall. Very nice, Jim.
Only the best class production. Only high-end production value here.
It actually is like, you know what? That's the other thing for all of you guys listening to this. You know how much work Jim had to put into getting the lighting right so that he looks the way he looks, and I don't have a cell phone camera lighting me from the side right now. Like, it's so hard. It's so lighting is the hardest
Very
part
difficult.
of all of it.
It is. It really, really is.
I need a class on it. I keep watching these videos. I'm like, I don't know how to not make the reflection off my. How do I get the reflection off my forehead? It's like a mirror.
That is funny. Is that the same bottle of water?
Yeah, I haven't gotten up. I told you if I walk away, you're going to see my bare ass. Is that what you guys want? Come on. Slow clap. Slow clap.
They want the backflip so the whole curtain goes down. That's fine.
Wait, you want to know one thing I've done during the break? Whatever you want to call this, the break. Quarantine and everything. So, and I'll do this for any of you that want me to do this for friends or family, okay? We'll put it out there as a love anything right now. I'll do this. I'll make like a birthday video for somebody, right? So a good friend, an old friend, right? And you can do this at home too. It's the funniest thing in the world if you're willing to do it. It's a little bit of whatever, but I'll get like this close to the video and I'll be like, "Listen, I just want to say that I love you and you're a great friend and I'm sorry that we can't be together, but happy birthday," right? And then I pretend to shut the camera off, and then I've been naked the whole time. And then I leave the camera on and I get up and I walk away. So it's just, you see my bare ass like walking away. And so you don't see the front, but it's just like a bare ass shot. I've done it like for 50 friends. No joke, 50, right? It gets it crushes every time it crushes. If you get a video in your text message and it starts off like that.
Now, do they ask for a refund even though they didn't pay?
Oh, they tip. What are you talking about?
They tip. Karen says, "Go for it, Josh."
All
June
right.
says, "Where's the bubbly?" instead of the water.
Right.
Kathleen says, "We want to see your chair." They want to see the chair. There's a whole running. There it is. There's the chair. He's got like one of those executive corporate chairs.
Well, I keep leaning back, and then that. See? Here, let's just take it down. Let's just take it here. Just forget it. Okay.
Oh, you don't understand. On this show, we've had so many guests who they run out of battery on their computer. So they have, in the middle of the conversation, they have to get up and change to a laptop, or I got to recharge my battery. So we've seen like almost on every episode, an empty chair from the guests. So it's like a running thing that we.
I'll leave.
And then the other thing is they like to know the room that you're in. Yeah. There's the chair. Oh, he's got a swivel too. He's got a corporate executive swivel chair. A corporate executive swivel chair. It swivels. You're high class. You got a swivel.
I don't mess around. This is high tech stuff.
The other thing is there you go. Empty chair, empty chair. It's a funny running joke, but also they like to know what room the guest is in. So it's like, so tell us about where you're at.
So if you can see, this is the plight of the married man in an apartment in New York City. I don't get a man cave. That's my man corner. You see that? Helmets, football, paraphernalia, some superhero stuff. That's it. I get a corner. That's it. Not a whole cave. And then this is basically the living room. There's the kitchen down there. Here's the couch. The bedrooms are off to the side. That's where we're at.
Cool. Very, very cool. Don't you just love that word paraphernalia?
It could mean anything, good or bad.
That's it. That's it.
Right? What do you guys, honestly, I want everyone's opinion because I have not cut my hair since March.
Neither have I. Same thing. It's like
you've seen all my clips. You've seen me with short hair. Do we like the long hair, or do we like the short hair? Feel free to chime in.
Chime in, folks. Do you want the long hair to continue, or do you want the short hair? Let us know. Here's the short hair.
Here's the short hair.
That's actually a cool shot, headshot.
Yeah, I kind of really love that headshot. But this kind of came about too of like, dude, what are we doing, right? We're not going out much. I just wanted to see what it would look like after a year.
Me too. That's what I did.
That's it. What would it look like if I didn't cut it for a year?
Very
Yours
long.
is the same as mine.
Very long.
You have a better hairline in the front.
If I take this off, it's like, boom.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
this is all I got. I think this is about as much as it's going to grow. It's been like this for a couple of months now. So, and then who said their birthday was the 28th? All right, Kathy.
What happens if you take everything that's in the back and you put it over your face? I've done that, and you end up looking like Cousin It from the Addams Family.
I see. I'm losing it in the
front.
front.
Yours won't come over.
I end up looking like my dad.
Now you look like a mad scientist. It's cool.
Wait, hold on. Now I look like my dad because he had a comb over. Wait, where's my brush? Hold on.
Now, if you did a 15-second how to comb your hair, brush your hair video, multi-million.
Right. That's what it would take, and then I would be famous. Unstinking real.
It is. Yes. Have we
cut it? Brian Myers. Brian Myers, I used to swim with in high school. He was so good. It was infuriating. But he was the captain with me on the swim team. And he said, he had great long hair. Brian, you had great long hair in high school, dude. Don't cut it. Oh my God. Brian, I miss Brian Myers. Daniel says short. Linda, long. Oh, the ladies are saying long.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. Daniel says short.
Short hair, old school. Dude, you and me should get together with our hair and just do like a twinsy.
Exactly.
Look at that. Yeah. Oh my God. I want to do where is it? I want to do a man. There it is. I'm going to do a man bun thing. This is all, you see this? This is a women's clip thing. So this is all I can.
That's what I have to get. I've been using rubber bands to pull it back sometimes, and they don't hold.
They don't. Or if you do this, you see, because I'm balding. You're not balding. But if I try to do this, then
the Gene Wilder look.
Gene Wilder, but then I get the freaking the chassis out here, and I start looking like a Hasidic Jew. That's really funny. Oh my God, I look ridiculous right now. Oh my God, you're crazy. I'm out of my mind. How long have we been talking for? Like
2 hours and 13 minutes. It's amazing, huh?
Wow.
These people get a lot of value out of this show, I tell you. All for one low price. Turn on their computer.
That's crazy.
That is funny. But
Gene said, I will write Gene Wilder. Remember, you see Gene Wilder? You know what's funny about the Gene Wilder? Go back to the actor and comedian thing, and you could hear him say it 1,000 times. He never thought of himself as a comedian.
No, he didn't.
He played every scene and role serious. Isn't that mind-blowing?
Yeah.
He wasn't going for the funny. There's this trope that they teach you or they say, I don't know where I got it from, but it's like when you're trying to be funny, right?
You see what Juanita says from South Africa? No, the man bun looks like a knotted black band.
Yes, she's right. Okay, I'm banned from South Africa now. Great.
That is funny.
Jim, you're killing me. This is so much fun. They say basically like, don't ask for the laugh, right? So like I guess it was some made up scene. I don't know if it's a real story or not, but it's like two people are in a scene. One guy is talking to the other guy and the guy asks for an apple, right? The crowd goes nuts, right? And then for the next bunch of shows, they try to do that scene over and they can't get a laugh. And eventually the director comes back and sees them do it. And they say to the director, why isn't it working? Every time we try it doesn't get a laugh, right? And he says, because you're asking for the laugh. You're not asking for the apple, right? So that to me is like the exact example of Gene Wilder's whole career. He just was in the moment asking for the apple, and it just was so funny every single time.
Exactly right. Exactly
While
right.
Brian still has long hair. How do you still have long hair after all these years? That's incredible.
Still has long.
Dude, you should not. You do not. We had to wear Speedos back in that day. Remember Speedos?
You know, you may be banned now from South Africa, but you're not banned from Nova Scotia, according to Karen in Nova Scotia.
Juanita, let's go. Step up. Figure out a way.
Figure out a way. Oh, if there's anybody that could figure out a way, it is Juanita. Yeah, it is Juanita.
Now, Juanita's last name, let me get this, it's going to be either Kotzer or is it an A sound? Kotzer? Juanita Katzer? Is it a Kate or a coat? Which one? O or the A? You know?
To be determined. Yeah.
Love you too, Brian.
Too funny. That's funny.
Katzer.
Well,
it might be Katzer. Although Juanita's like a Hispanic name, right? So Katzer almost sounds could be German or what?
You're killing him, Juanita. You still there, Juanita? He needs to know what. Yeah.
Hairstylist contest.
Have a hairstyle contest. That is funny. Well, this was cool, my friend. This really was. So people got a chance to really learn more about you, see your comedy, some of the performance, and some of the things that inspire you and why you love doing what you're doing as a comedian, as an actor. And Juanita did.
She said Kotzer. It's an O. Kutzer. No. Ooh. Like ooh. No.
Like
ooh.
Like ooh. Like
Kutzer.
Ooh.
Yes,
like
Kutzer.
Juanita Kutzer. Try to say that 5 times fast, Juanita.
Juanita Kutzer. Juanita Kutzer. Juanita. Oh.
Not so easy.
Well, I would just like to say thank you for not only having me on the show, giving me a chance to talk about Jerry Duncan and Mosh Peach Murders, which is going to come out, the radio show, and all of my past work. I really appreciate it. It's been really just something I think I needed to do while sitting here a lot, and I appreciate all of you out there, Karen and June. Thanks for setting this up, and thank you. Really, really cool. And if you guys want to see something fun that I did, you could look. I did a whole bunch of parodies on Hamilton from this summer. So go to my YouTube page, Mr. Josh Hyman. Those are fun. And just thank you. Thank you, Ann. This has really been an awesome experience. Jim, you're the man. You are the master. You are the master.
Aptly named, right?
No purpose. Is that your real last name, or is that did you choose?
My name is Jim Masters. Yeah, I'm the 5th in the family. It's actually James, but yeah, it's
Jim Masters.
That's what everybody says. They think you must have made that up for television or radio. Your name probably really is Harvey Lupowitz or something, right? And I'm like, no, it's Jim.
When people say, "Oh, Josh Hyman, you made that up. You're a comedian." Yeah, I chose Hyman. Why would I choose Hyman? Why would I do that to myself?
What would you choose if you could?
I always wanted to be Paolo Tortorici. I always thought that would be a great stage, or like Victor Brancaccio. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, Victor Brancaccio.
Karen in Nova Scotia says, thank you for being on the show, Josh. You were great. Maureen, whose German name you pronounced correctly, the last name. This has been such a fun show, lots of COVID relief. And that's what we're trying to do, put smiles on people's faces. His parodies are astounding. Kathleen in New York says, thanks for hanging with us, Josh. Stay safe. Take care. Linda in Florida, thank you, Josh, for sharing your life story. Please do come back. June says, wahoo. Karen, Jim is truly the master. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate that. My friend, this was really cool. Thanks for joining us. You're welcome back anytime. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me and us as we have with you.
Thank you. Follow me on Twitter. Wait,
I was asking you about me.
Facebook.
Jump right to you. Facebook. What is this?
I'll follow
Hey,
you.
look about me, darn it.
Here, I'll say this. Can you guys, you don't have to actually, if you would just follow me around Queens, that would be super awesome. Just like
Now watch what you say, because that might,
I don't care. At this
you gotta,
point, it would be
you have a
awesome.
deadbolt.
Just come in the house and just help me clean up.
Come. Do you cook?
I do, but my wife is a trained chef, so
so you're a very, very lucky man. Right.
Very,
Very, very blessed. Very blessed. Well, this was cool, my friend, and appreciate you being with us. And you guys, you and your family, you stay safe, you stay well, keep making everybody smile. Good luck with everything. Let's stay in touch, and hopefully, when all this passes, we'll get together maybe with June gang, and we'll break some bread and have some fun in the city when we can. That'll be great.
That would be awesome. This was beyond expectations. This was amazing. Thanks, Jim. I had a great time.
I appreciate that. As my father has always said, when anybody says something positive to you, tell them to please put it in writing and address it in management.
Yes. Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the Irish side of the family.
No, it's Moroccan. Just say Moroccan. It sounds great.
Yeah. All right, my friend. You take care and you be well. Go stretch those legs.
I will. Good night, everybody. Good night.
All right. Take care. Ciao. Bye-bye. Josh Hyman joining us here live, comedian and actor. You've probably seen him in a lot of different productions. Blue Bloods was one of them we were talking about. It's a clip from the HBO pilot and a lot of other things. And of course, you can check him out online. And we're so happy to have him here. Karen says, bye, Josh. And also stay safe, and your lovely family as well. And June with smiles. And cool night. Again, putting some COVID relief out there, some comedy. And hopefully you enjoyed it, and it was a real pleasure. And again, encourage you to check him out. He's done a lot of different things in his life, and he's got a lot of cool things coming up. And his parodies as well, because I've caught some of them, are really, really funny. You know what he does? He takes life and the craziness and idiosyncrasies of life, like some of the best comedians have done, Dangerfield, Phyllis Diller, Carlin, all the different ones, and, exaggerates them a little, but then sort of reflects them back on us, how crazy life really can be, which it really, really can be. And hopefully you enjoyed this. And I just want to let you know, COVID relief, that's exactly what it is. And cool stuff. We'll have him back too. He's going to keep us posted on some of the cool things he's doing. Tonight's show was so much fun, Mr. Lovely. Thank you. You're welcome, Linda in St. Augustine, and Karen in Nova Scotia. He is awesome. So funny. He is. And that's why I call these shows, this isn't an interview. These are conversations. We turn on the lights, we roll, and whatever happens, happens. And it's more authentic that way on this entertainment lifestyle talk show series we call the Jim Masters Show Live. I'll be watching those parodies, right? You can catch them all online. Anybody watching on our YouTube channel, we hope you subscribe to our channel, Jim Masters TV. We would love that. If you missed anything in this episode, or you would like to see it again, especially when he almost fell backwards and the whole blue screen almost collapsed. I know many of you are going to watch that again and rewind that and laugh, aren't you? If you missed any of the episodes, over 230 episodes of our daily show, the Jim Masters Show Live, you can see them all available 24/7 on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. Tomorrow night, brilliant playwright and songwriter and writer Jeffrey Sweet is going to be with us. He is amazing. And then on Thursday, brilliant pianist, violinist, and composer David Shenton is going to be with us here on the Jim Masters Show Live as well. It's going to be really, really fantastic. We look forward to that. And we have two amazing guests live from Greece on Saturday. This will be exclusively on our YouTube channel. French-Greek singer and great friend. He's had public television specials and more. George Paris is going to be here. He and I were chatting today. He's all excited about hopping on. He's going to perform live. That is this Saturday. It's going to be an earlier time for us because in Greece, it's 8 o'clock at night. So we moved our show earlier. This is one of those days where we're doing the 2 episodes. So 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and 8 p.m. EET, which is Eastern European time. or The Time It Is in Greece. That's this Saturday. And then on Saturday night, we have Grammy-winning composer, arranger, producer, performer, John Prue, who's going to be here live, and he's absolutely amazing, and he's all excited. He's going to be here for a phenomenal show on Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Again, this is Grammy-winning composer and arranger and producer and performer, John Prue. He's going to be here live as well. He's all excited. We look forward to that. On Sunday, live and direct from Ireland, another very popular performer, Ireland's leading country music singer, Nathan Carter, who also had a public television special recently here in the United States. He's a great friend. I actually interviewed him on PBS about a year ago. He's going to be here at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. GMT, which is for our viewers in Ireland, Scotland, and England. So that is this Sunday live, and he's going to be performing. That's exclusively on our YouTube channel. So we look forward to that. A couple other folks, Anson Williams, who played Potsy on Happy Days, is going to be here. He's going to be coming up in about a week. That's right. He's got some great stories to tell, some great memories, and so much more. A brilliant performer, Rebecca Harkin, is going to be here live from Australia. She's originally from Ireland. She's in Australia right now. Her brother is Keith Harkin, who, of course, was in the popular Irish group Celtic Thunder. He now has a solo career, and he's with his wife and child in Portugal. She's a brilliant Irish singer-songwriter. She's going to be here as well. And that's coming up in about a week. So cool stuff, folks, coming up. And everybody that's watching, thanks for tuning in. Yes, that's Potsy. And can't wait to see Nathan Carter. Good night, Jim, from Kathy Short, watching in Cleveland, Ohio. Karen in Nova Scotia says, Jim, you and your show always bring a smile on my face and warmth to my heart. I appreciate that, Karen. That's very nice to know that. Thank you very much. And COVID relief, we certainly need that. And yes, watch Josh's parodies. They are hilarious. And thank you, Jim, for all you do to put these shows together for us. My pleasure, Kathleen. Kathleen Walker. Remember when I posted on our Facebook page, my Facebook page, that photo of us when we were on the Rachel Ray show together, remember? That was cool. And Jim, you and your show always bring me a smile. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you can't wait to see Nathan on Sunday. That's going to be really, really cool. And Ann is here. Thank you, Jim, for a fun evening. Wishing everyone a very good night. You as well, and Wozniak. Juanita, we're going away for the weekend. I'll miss the live shows. Thinking of you love the show so much, Juanita in Kuzer. Juanita Kutzer, as Josh said. See, now everybody knows how to say your name. Juanita in South Africa, you're going away for the weekend, so you'll miss the live shows. You can watch them in the archives at Jim Masters TV. All the shows you can watch archived at Jim Masters TV. But you're thinking of faking a broken leg so you can stay home and watch live? That's what you call a loyal lovity. I mean, it gets as loyal as that. Faking a broken leg so you can stay home and not miss a thing. That is very cool, Juanita. Well, if you do decide to go, masks up, social distance, wash those hands. And thanks so much, Jim. I'll be tuning in. Stay safe. Patricia, thanks for joining us. Every show is something different. We have guests from television and film, music, Broadway, Hollywood. We have health and wellness. We have food shows. We have comedy. We have sports, inspiration, authors. And it's amazing what we do here on this entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Every show is a different theme, different topic, different vibe, and something different, something for everybody, like talk shows used to be. We're bringing back the lost art of conversation here on the show. This is like the Waltons. Everybody says goodnight to everybody. It takes us 2.5 hours to say our goodnights and our goodbyes. And here at the show, we don't say goodbye. We say see you later. But it takes a little bit. Have a great, and we love it, of course. Have a great night, Jim. Good night, all. Sending lots of love to all. Thank you, Kathleen. And you saw the photo of Kathleen and I on the Rachel Ray show. That was really cool. Got to do that again, Kathleen Walker. Got to get it back into the city and have some fun when we can. Good night, Mr. Loverty. Good night, Lovelies. Linda Odell in Florida. Christine says, Josh was really fun. Genuine guest. Good night to Jim and all. You too, Christine, and you be well. You and your mom. I know you haven't been feeling well, so we're sending you lots of lovity as well to you and your mom. You can all sign my cast. Well, sign your cast. Absolutely. Later, XOXO from June, our wonderful June. We appreciate her. And Karen will be the very first to sign the cast as well. Maureen says, good night, Jim and sweet lovities. We appreciate that as well. And don't forget, gang, and this is so apropos for tonight's show, right? As we always say, don't forget to smile and put a smile on the faces of others. That's really important to do that, right? Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the lovity. That's really important. Our world could really use a lot more of that. Find your Zen place. Jen is Zen in Allentown, Pennsylvania, is always talking about being Zen. Mine, growing up here in the Northeastern United States, growing up near the ocean is my Zen place. The ultimate is being with loving family and friends. Then, of course, the ocean, tennis, music, writing, producing. Of course, my career in television and radio, multimedia, all these years is another Zen place that I really enjoy. Having an opportunity to create, work with great folks in TV, radio, and multimedia. I love that as well. But love all of you. And don't forget, we always say on the Jim Masters Show Live, with all the craziness going on in our lives, don't forget to relax, to breathe, to love one another, and to love yourself. It's important to love yourself too, so that way you can share that love with others. So relax, breathe from the diaphragm. It's a really important thing to do. And you guys take care. It was another fantastic night. Once again, we thank our very special guest, Josh Hyman, for joining us here on the show. He was terrific. We'll start with the picture. We'll wrap with the picture we started with. Who, me? Really, really cool. Gang, you guys are the best. Again, tomorrow, playwright, songwriter, and writer, the award-winning Jeffrey Sweet is going to be here tomorrow, and it's going to be a brilliant show with Jeffrey. He's all excited, and we look forward to that. Kathleen says, I'm wishing I had ice cream. And are you doing a magic trick?
I could have had no pants on. You guys are crazy.
Are you about to do a magic trick now? Are you doing vaudeville? What are you doing? Yeah, it looks like you're about to do a magic trick. And now, oh, there you go. See, he does magic too. Look at that. Wow. See, this guy's a and he did. So, good night, my friend. That's what we call the encore. The encore. We'll see you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Before he does take his pants off. See ya. I tell you, we cut out early there, right? He is back. Yes, he's back. And applause, of course. Yes, ice cream sounds good. You're wishing you had ice cream. Ocean is your Zen place, but now your Zen place is right here. Thank you very much. Hey, Josh, Rod Weber just joined us, and he's asking, have you been on already?
Oh, Rod, dude.
2.5 hours you've been on.
Dude, Rod is the man. We worked on Jerry Duncan. He did actually he did the whole, we had to be COVID safe. So he was the DP and had to give me all the equipment. I had to set it up around the apartment, and he's Zooming me, telling me what, how hard that was. I don't know the light. He's telling me where to put the light.
Yeah, the production value. Well, there you go. Rod, it's good to see you. If you missed the episode, because we just did, it's 20 to 10 now, and Josh has been with us since 7 p.m. Right there, Jim Masters TV on YouTube. The entire episode is saved and archived. So if you missed anything, Rod, you can see the whole episode on our YouTube channel as well. So good stuff, my friend. All right. This is like a Jewish goodbye, right? It continues.
See you later. I'm gonna make a sandwich. I'll send it to you. I'll give you you want a knish? You want a coffee? What do you need? You need a back rub? Goodbye. I'll see you later. I love you.
We love you too. Ciao. There you go. That's what they call an encore. That's triple levity. Triple levity. Never ending. Yes. And Haya and Rod and LOL and hysterical. And we like to have fun on the show. You know, sometimes we talk about serious topics too, and we get serious, and we like to do that as well. Something for everything. You know, traditional talk shows, that's what they did. Every night, something different, something fun, something for everybody. And I think that's what's great. And that's what makes doing this show so much fun, as I sort of balance this with my professional work. So gang, thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we'll be back tomorrow right here live on the Jim Masters Show Live. Hope you guys will be with us. And if you're not, you can see all these episodes again on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. We toast all of you. What happened? How did this get empty? This thing was full. You know what? That George Burns, he's got a cigar in his hand, and I think he presses a button, and that cigar acts like a straw and goes, psh. This thing is always siphoned. How did that happen? This was full. This New York Mets gobbler from our lovely viewer and friend, Kathleen Walker. I don't know, George. George's nipping at it again. Or is it Gilligan back there? Gilligan. You see Gilligan back there, who was a gift from Dream of Denver, one of our great guests and dear friends on the show, wife of Bob Denver, who played Gilligan. If you missed that episode, go back and watch it. Gilligan's there with George, but he's got that cigar right there. And I think that thing is like psh, a straw, and it goes right to this glass. And then all of a sudden, I'm thirsty. The thing is empty. Happens all the time. I don't know. George is very sly. Then again, he did play God, didn't he? Good night, all. Night, night. Sleep well. XOXO. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Jim Masters Show Live. You guys have a good night. Be well. Take care. Stay safe. And thanks for joining us. You're all a blessing. We love having you with us all around the world, joining us on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for joining. Here comes another comment. Just as I was ready to say see ya. And it is, love the sound effects. Mine or Josh's? Josh has made a few too. We'll see you guys soon. All right. Tomorrow we'll be back here. Another great show just for you. All right. Have a good night. Thanks for being with us. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.